Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's running IronAge.media, creating Anvil, the anthology.
Iron Age.
Iron Age. Who
so-called
even knows?
Iron Age. Yeah.
My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. We have a show this evening, or we don't, and it all stops here. And so cometh the Iron Age of media.
What's up, fellas?
Royce!
Sir!
How are you, man?
Well, I was fantastic, and now I'm more fantastic. So how does that work?
And I'm coming off.
They said, can we hang a trailer hitch set of brass balls in
Truck
the
nuts.
notch of the neck?
Yep, okay. Important questions. Do the mechs have enough mobility to perform a teabag on downed enemies?
I will say yes.
Huh?
I'm that good.
Not yet, you're not. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Daniel P. Riley from 2025. He has an interesting story to tell you.
Thank you.
Mr. 2020.
Like, just throw the blue balls in the
There
chat.
we
Love
go.
it. Just throw it in there.
Okay.
So anytime
okay.
you see blue balls, they're probably with me.
Oh my goodness, man. There you go.
There you go.
You sons of bitches!
All right, let's see the back.
No.
I didn't come out and be like, hey, she's got some Tego bitties. How'd you guys do? Oh, anyway. And so I took the book. I'm like, yeah, Eric said the book was good. Look at that. Look at how tightly you can roll it up.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
You are in the inaugural episode of Iron Age Nights.
I noticed this is number one, the official
This
number
is
one.
yeah, this is the official number one.
Yeah.
Now, should it be nights like nighttime or nights as in knights with armor?
Dude, who are you asking?
I know,
Dude,
I'm aware.
What do you think
I'm
I'm
aware. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing this evening?
I thought I'd lean into the Conan a little bit.
I thought I'd lean into the go. Dude, so the first intro that you guys saw was actually done by Bat Sauce. He has been working on an intro for Iron Age Nights for us, and I could not be more honored that he has been doing that for us, man. Guys, it's awesome to have a member of the community doing that. So I would ask all of you to tell Bat Sauce what you thought of that intro. Where Richard was Iron Man banging on the original Iron Man armor, and Daniel P. Riley was Conan, and I was a flamboyant bard in a bar singing a song. Like, let Bat Sauce know what you guys thought of that, and tell him what you thought, guys. It's awesome to be here this evening. I am so glad to have everybody here this evening, guys. This is gonna be an awesome conversation, and actually a conversation we have been talking in the background of having for a while. And with the turbulence of today, we were actually able to make this conversation happen sooner than it was scheduled. So, good things come in all shapes and forms, ladies and gentlemen. So, without any further ado, welcome to Iron Age Nights, the show where we talk to an indie artist, creator, anybody who does movies and or video games and or books and or comic books, and we introduce them to you. But before we get into that, let's say hello to the chat. Over on the Rumbles, we've got Garham. What's going on, man? We've got Chatsu over there. How are you doing? Frequency Studios, what's going on, man? We've got God Pineapple-y. It's supposed to be Pineapple-er, but it's Pineapple-y. And they didn't notice that until I pointed it out to them, and it was hilarious. They were like, wait a minute, what? My name is what? They were like, no, it was supposed to be something else. And I was like, oh, maybe I... over on YouTube, we've got Wyatt Hilbert. He says, sadly, I have to watch tomorrow. We are still here, and I'll say hello to you. So when you watch tomorrow and or today, right, you'll know, because the internet is weird with the past, present, and future. We've got Alt Simon, what's going on? AC Pritchard, what's going on, dude? Madness Comment Network, hello. Trippy Soul, what's going on, man? Horizon Talker, it's good to see you. Garham is in both chats. He's double dipping. We got Hail the Lord. What's going on, dude? We got Bat Sauce, the guy who made that intro. Let him know what you guys thought about that intro, and maybe if you guys have some ideas, let him know, because who knows? Who knows? Maybe Bat Sauce becomes my Perry Chan, and I have to figure out a way to pay this guy. Because I'm not going to lie, that was pretty epic. That intro was pretty epic with Razor Fist introducing us. The only time in my life Razor Fist will ever introduce me. But that's okay. Evely Music, what's going on, man? A.S. Bruner, how you doing, man? It's good to have you here. Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge. We call him the Hedge. We've got Garden Gal. Hello, how are you? James Craig, what's going on? Under 3 inches of snow and temporary blackout. We're under, like, literally almost 2 feet of snow here. It's bad. My wife wasn't able to back the car out of the driveway a minute ago, and I already ran the snowblower today. So that's how bad it is. I already ran the snowblower today and got everything cleared, and she was still barely able to back it. It's just nuts. Oxen W, what's going on? Anganar, I cannot say that name. Anganar, what's going on? We got John A. Douglas in the chat. It's good to see you. Good Lord, Tim Allen, Bat Sauce. I think I said hello to Bat Sauce. Resonant One, what up? Raul Neonzi, how are you doing, man? Caffeinated Wolf, what's going on? Pritchard Pub, hello, Lady AC Pritchard. It's wonderful to see you here. Oh, God, I saw Maji Chen was there. Ray Haylock, Tugs Web Guy is in the chat as well. Sweet Tooth Eddie, what's going on? That's a new name. What's going on? Ram, what's going on, Ram? And I think I have caught up with everybody except for Garfield's Bizarre Adventure, who just dropped a $20 super chat. Holy crap, dude, thank you so much, man. He says, hello, everyone. Looking forward to another awesome Friday stream. Hashtag Yaira Winter. Yes, there were a lot of people who are excited about the new Rippaverse book, and that is Yaira. Richard tells me in the private chat, he's a bit laggy. Sir, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of winter happening right now around the United States. It's going to be laggy.
Yeah. I know. Listen, you don't need to tell me.
Can you send that
I think
message to God and have God fix that?
All I'm saying is that, trust me, I understand the plight of everybody. I think it's like about 52 degrees outside right now.
Oh, fuck off.
So obviously Texas is nearing apocalypse situation. So
is there like a light dusting of snow outside so everybody has lost their shit?
Is there a light dusting of what now?
What now?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I wouldn't. The city would be on fire.
Richard, do you know
no,
what
the city would be on
looks
fire
like?
if there was.
I was gonna say, if you know what cocaine looks like, it's basically like cocaine, but falling from the sky, and it really hurts to snort.
Like sugar, you're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce one of my fantastic co-hosts, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who is working on the fourth indie magazine known as Anvil, and putting together an Iron Age album with a bunch of artists. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know him as Iron Man from the intro, but we know him here as King Richard. Richard, how you doing, man? How's your week been?
It's been good. It's a busy week. Got through a few things that I needed to take care of with issue number 4. The First Strike album is on the way. Issue number 3 is getting prepped, and we're about to go send it to the printer here before too long. Which I'm pushing that back until I think I said January 20th or 22nd, one of those two. So, yeah, it's subscriptions and pre-orders for physical copies of issue number 3 and First Strike. If you want physical copies, make sure you order by then, because after that, it's just going to be a very small overrun and then reorders at some point in the future. And I don't know when I'm going to do that. So we're gonna make sure we keep the costs low, because I'm dealing with subscription money. I need to make sure I can make it through the whole year.
There you go.
So,
hey, dude, that's an interesting model that you're trying out, dude, and that's something that
I'm trying, and I'm actually really curious to talk to Tyler about this later on. About how bad of an idea it is to go from from crowdfunding to subscription, probably. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
Tyler has many things to talk about. He's got books to talk about. We've got marketing to talk about. We have his comics to talk about.
I'm not here to shill. I'm here to have good conversation.
Dude, the rule on this show is to shill.
Shilling is part of the process.
Like, if you're not here to shill, why are you even here? He's got something about some plumber ladies that he's I don't know. There's some I don't know. There's some semi-attractive ladies that are gonna come and help plunger the toilets. I don't know. This is a thing he's gonna talk about. He's gonna tell you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But before we get to that, we have the man who is going to help you pull the story from the inside depths of your mind and put them on the page. That's right. This guy will help you write your story and help you edit your story. Mr. Daniel P. Riley from whimsyland.org. What's going on, dude? How's your week been?
Good. And if all else fails, because I am now officially Conan, I'll just split your head open with a sword and
see. And he will drag the story out whether you're alive.
You won't survive, but your story will live on.
Wait, I think a lot of writers would actually like that. They're like, wait, no, my story will survive me. That could be your next marketing tactic.
Little bit literary, a little bit Kevorkian. We're good.
Oh, we're good, man. How's your week been, dude?
Good, very good. Working hard because I've got a full slate of editing projects plus coaching calls, and I have many pages sent to Kevin, my artist, for issue number 2 of the G Sedai comic.
There you go. Yes.
Wonderful contribution from Eric July, getting me set up so early. Whew. Yeah, so lots going on.
Yeah,
that poor man. I keep sending him things and paying him, and he's like, it'll take me a month. I'm like, it's fine, just work. I'll keep sending money to you.
There you go, dude. There you go, man. Dude, I'm so glad that that's getting done. I am ready to get the pop color version.
Yeah,
dude, it looks so good. That project looks so freaking baller, man.
And after the conversation with Nikki P earlier today, I've got some new advertising and marketing ideas that I'm going to implement over the next couple of weeks. One of them might take a month or two. It might be ready by the time the second issue is ready to go campaign for ColourPop. So we'll see.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I noticed that I said something to Nikki P earlier. And then he commented on what I was talking to Tyler about, which, by the way, guys, so for those of you who don't know, we had mentioned, so we'd already had Tyler scheduled. And then we received a message from Chuck Dixon that he was unable to make it tonight. I mean, life happens, and we schedule a month to a month and a half out. Usually, a lot can change in a month to a month and a half. So when we schedule people, we just cross our fingers and hope that life works with us. But I had mentioned to Tyler, because Tyler was like, I'm going to implement some awesome new marketing things. And I was like, dude, I would love to talk to you about that. And when I said that on Twitter today, or Twix as I call it, in my head, I was like, we're going to talk to this guy in a couple weeks about that. Little did I know he would come to our rescue this evening and say, hey guys, if you want somebody on, I'm here. I will rescue your show. I am the Superman you're looking for. That was the exact message he sent to me. And all of us were like, you know what? We're all looking for a Superman. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler from Draw and Talk, man, how have you been, dude?
Horrible, but I've been good. I'm good. No, I'm glad to be here. This is exciting. I'm pumped.
Dude, man, it's good to have you.
He's obviously
man.
down on his luck if he's on Iron Age Nights, right?
I know. I know.
No one else would have me.
Yeah, the new year, it's not going so well.
That's how we do. We'll have those that nobody else will have.
I'm working on my comeback story, but I have to start from the bottom. No, I'm super excited to be here. Like, I'm super pumped.
Dude, man, that's awesome, man. I'm
Great
so
to
glad.
have you.
I'm so glad that you're here. And like I said, all jokes aside, dude, thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah, no problem.
Dude, because not gonna lie, behind the scenes a little bit, we were like, what are we gonna do? Because again,
Well, I wasn't. They were.
no. So he's knee deep in a manuscript, working on a manuscript for somebody, and Richard and I are going back and forth on a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, dude, Tyler just reached out, like he's totally willing to, like, he's open for tonight, and we're like, where's Daniel? Like, because this is our show, and we're like, so I literally pick up, so we stopped talking on our Gilded. Because that's where I'm at. We got our Gilded server. So we stopped talking on the internet DM, and I literally pick up my phone. And I send Daniel a text. I was like, get in our Gilded DM now. So
I'm digging the sword behind Daniel. Like he just has a sword behind him. Yeah, it just commands respect. Like, oh, what'd you say to me? I've got my gun here, but I don't want to like put that.
Yeah,
that'll ruin the night.
Yeah, we're not allowed to pull
They
those
get upset
out
about live
I have a
streams.
slightly less manly sword up there.
Yeah.
I've got the Claymore, but I really don't want to mess. If you could see it, just,
This thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
There we
You used
go.
to have the Claymore. There it is.
yeah, it's still around. I've kind of gotten to where it just doesn't fit in frame anymore.
Your camera has a X and a Y axis. Mine does not. Anyway, okay, that's boring conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about cameras and axes and whatnot. We have Tyler from Draw and Talk here. And again, guys, so we had already had this conversation scheduled, but I'm glad that it's happening sooner than we had scheduled it. But I think all of us have questions for you, but I'm going to start off with the typical question that I usually start off with our guests. And for those of you who don't know, Tyler turned his dream into a reality. He's making manga full time. You said that on a stream. I was there. I watched you. Yeah, it sounds weird when someone else says it.
No, but hold on. But did you watch the have you watched the update stream?
I don't know if I have.
Where I
missed the most recent one.
No. I watched the update stream where you were like, and I want to do something else.
I'm like, dude, give me my day job back. I hate this.
I know. I did. I actually watched it. No, but that one right there was like, oh, the guy's willing to do real talk. And I appreciate that. And that's when I was like, and subscribe. Actually, I think I commented to you on one of your live streams or something. I was like, all right, dude, you earned to subscribe. Because I was watching some videos. Because I've only recently come across your stuff.
No, you're good. You've actually promoted my stuff on live streams. Your chat has like put my stuff for you to look at a couple times. And they'll be like, "Yo, you're on his show right now." I'm like, "What?" So no, I appreciate it. It's funny. Like, if you go on my channel right now, I nuked all my content, so it's a dead channel right now. But yeah, I did I did comics for full time for 6 months, and that was like, I don't like this. I'm gonna get a job again. And I'm like having the best time ever. I'm like having the best time now, like with comics. So it's fantastic.
So that leads into a conversation that I've been watching. The internet. It was so a channel, and I'm sure everybody saw this. The first channel on YouTube that I ever subscribed to was one of Matt Pat's channels, The Film Theorist. Right?
Oh, I love Matt Pat.
Dude, I love the guy to death. And he just announced that he's going to be stepping away from all the Theorist channels, right? He's going to be doing other stuff, but he's stepping away. And I was like, wow. So I was like, and here's the thing about Matt Pat is when I showed, when I started watching him, and then like I wasn't into video games at the time, wanted to learn more. And I was like, oh, well, because my buddies wanted to get me back into video gaming because I hadn't been doing it since I was in high school. So I started watching MatPat to check out some other games because my buddies were into video games. And I was like, well, shit, as a good friend, I should watch. So I was watching his stuff. MatPat was one of those channels. Like my daughter learned about FNAF from him. And like at one point in time, he was the guy he was the family entertainment. It was like, oh my God, my wife and I would text back and forth, like, MatPat just put out a new video today on one of his channels. We're like, let's watch it with the kids when I get home tonight.
Oh, nice.
Like, he was the family entertainment, right? Because everything else was just hot garbage. But, like, he was always entertaining. He was always fun. The kids would just be like, Dad, what did he say? I'm like, I don't know. Rewind it. What did he say? Like, he was awesome. But that inspired me to kind of go down the rabbit hole this week because a bunch of YouTube creators are walking away from it, right? And I came across a podcast, and I can't remember where, but one of the guys was like, when it comes to the creative process, and again, the whole diatribe to get here, but it's important because it's like, why is MatPat quitting? Why are all these YouTube creators quitting? When it comes to the creative process, they're like, when there's, external motivation for the creative process, like, well, I have to do this because I need the money. They're like, it tends to kill the creative process. But he's like, the people that I see who love to create forever, like their external motivator, like they have a day job, right? And they're externally motivated to do that day job to get that money, but they don't need that external motivation for their creativity.
Yeah, no.
They have an internal motivator that they can just go with because they're like, oh, I'm not worried. Like, I put this thing out and it's fun and it's good because I love it. And I have the money coming in from somewhere else. So there's no pressure on creating. Is that something that you kind of felt? Because I thought of you as soon as I heard that.
Yeah, and I mean, I watched that video, and I watched several creators this week quit their YouTubes. Now, granted, when those guys quit their YouTubes, I mean, they got millions in the bank. Like MatPat, like sold, I think, it to his company to another company. So like he's going in great. I just got a day job again, but no, like, so what happened was I got laid off of my job, and my wife was like, why don't you, and I just got off of like 3 like just successful campaigns. She's like, if you spent more time doing like YouTube and making comics, you would make more comics and you would make more content, and then you'd get more money, and then like you'd be able to do this full time. I was like, yeah, absolutely. She was like, well, why don't you do that? And I was like, yeah, why not? Like, we have a bunch of money saved and we have a bunch of money coming in from the books. Why not? And so that's why. So like the first like 2 months, the first like 3 months, it was great. I was like drawing every single day. I was making new books. I was putting out campaigns. They were doing well. And then the 4th month, I had some like my artists going like, hey, like, cause I was in this kind of like weird where I didn't need to make a new book because we were making the ones that we just crowdfunded. I didn't need it, and my artists had already done their part, but they're like, hey, I need another project. And I'm like, crap, like this person's kind of relying on me for like money because as an employee. So I'm like, okay. So then I would get the monies, and then they would start a new project, and then it's like, hey, looking at how much we have in the bank, it's like, I realize I'm like, okay, I only make money if I put out a project. It's not like that, every 2 weeks you're getting money, even though I'm doing all this work. So I'm like, okay, I have, that means I need to put out more projects, which means I need to spend more up front to get them. And then I have to budget a little more. So like, and all that stuff just became like this hindrance. Cause then it was like, crap, I have a 3-month gap. I need to put out another project. Mm-hmm. And so it just became this like crap. And when you have that moment of crap, I need to make another project, that project isn't in your heart. There's no really passion into it. And luckily I pulled out a story that I did like, but then it didn't do as well as I wanted. So I'm like, okay, so then I put out another book, and that one did well, thank goodness. But even then I'm just like, like this is not, I'm not feeling creatively fulfilled. And the last like 2 months of me being full-time, I didn't draw any pages of my own personal book because I was like, what if the pages aren't good? Then no one's going to want to buy volume 5, and then it's just going to suck. And so I'm just not going to do anything. And a lot of people have said like, Tyler, do you think it would have been easier if the money had been more? But I had made the decision in like October to go find another job, but we had enough money from the campaign saved up till February. So like,
Right.
and I still had I had 4 campaigns within October to February planned. So money was never a factor in this decision. It was the fact that I like hated it. And then I started looking at like the people who I was looking up to that were doing it full time, and the common denominator was that these guys were single. They were single dudes. And I was like, if I was a single dude, I could totally be doing this. But I've got a wife I've got to provide for, and I've got 2 children.
Yep.
And if I want them to have better opportunities, then I need to be making more. And then when you have the idea of I need to make more, you go, crap, how do I make more on this project?
Mm-hmm.
And now the creativity's gone. I'm just strictly, and like, I love business and marketing, and I love putting that in the creative stuff. But when there's a gun to your head to provide for your 2 kids who you want to give them a good life, you're like, crap, like this is not good. And I'm talking to some of these guys who are doing it full time. They go, Tyler, you got to go to all these cons. I'm like, you do like, they're like, I do 2 cons a month. I'm like, I have kids. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And I just realized at that point what I would have to give up to do this full time and do it successfully and do it well. I wasn't willing to give up, which was being with my family. And at that point I was like, you know what? For the last 8 years, my whole goal was to do this full time. I did it. But like when I made that goal, I was single. I was a single dude.
Right.
And now 8 years later, I have a wife and I have 2 kids, and those are like the best part of my life. That's all I want. I want to be with them. I realized, you know what? Comics aren't as big of a priority as I thought they were. This can be a hobby, and it's a nice paying hobby, but it's okay for this to be a hobby, because the most important thing to me is I'm providing for my family.
Yes.
And that I'm happy. Like my wife and I's relationship was shit, because I get upstairs, she's like, how was drawing today? I'm like, what do you mean I was drawing today? I didn't draw anything because I fucking hate my life. Like she was just like, oh, like he does not like this. In fact, she was the one who was like, Tyler, maybe you don't look very happy doing this.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not. I'm miserable. And I want to fight like all of you guys right now because I'm in such a bad mood. And so she encouraged me she's like, well, if this isn't what you want to do anymore, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay that you made it and you don't want to do this anymore. And that was really hard. That was a hard pill to swallow. Like, cause it's almost like I felt like I lost. I was a loser. Like I'd won. Everyone wants to do creative stuff full time. And I had this opportunity, and I'm like, going back. It felt like I was going backwards.
Yeah, but nobody talks about the drawbacks of doing the creative stuff.
No, right? Yeah. I mean, it fucking sucked. I mean, just the business operations of it all, like the taxes and whatnot. I was talking to an accountant. I'm like, oh, put a bullet through my head. This sucks. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing that a lot of people don't realize when you're doing that. It's like, I mean, like back in the day, I've talked about, like I failed as doing the rock star thing, right?
Hey, me too. It's all good.
But there was a point in my life where it was like, okay, I'm working 50 to 60 hours a week because the job that I had was construction, and you live on overtime. If you don't make overtime, you don't make money, right? And then I was putting another 30 to 40 hours a week into my music. I was spending, and I was a young father, I was spending no time with my wife. I was like, I almost sacrificed my family for this stuff. And, and one day, I had to realize it's like, because, I was so like driven by this like fantasy of like what my wife and kids could have. Mm-hmm. I wasn't paying attention to what I could give them today
and what they need right now.
Exactly. And so I made the decision. I was like, okay, I need to step back from this. And the more that I stepped back from it, the more that I realized, oh crap, like this is like this here. Because even when I was a little kid, I knew that I wanted to be a dad. Like even when I was a young, well, like little, but like, when you start getting interested in girls, whatever age that is for everybody, like I knew, like I was like, no, I want to be a dad. And I wasn't being one, and I wasn't being a husband. And that was rough for my wife to go through, because for like years, it was like she was just like a female roommate.
Oh, dude, because the roommate thing. I was just like, I would look at my wife like, yeah, we live. I pass by you through the halls.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, and it's because you're so driven and you're so focused on that task. And you know what? As a young guy, if you're single, you could do that. As someone who's married, who is dedicating your life to another person, you can't do that. And here's the thing. I am so much happier today now that I've set it down. I pick up my guitar, I play recreationally. There's a couple of music projects I may or may not work on, but at the end of the day, I have my wife and my kids.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of my like friends who are, I've got some creator friends, and I've got tons, but like it's always the single ones who are like, what do you mean? Like they just can't wrap their head around like what I'm like, what do you mean that you're not doing this? And I'm like, you just don't get like how much of a priority your family is. Like seriously, like for the last 8 years, I have just been like, I'm gonna do comics full time. I like woke up every morning and I listened to this little mantra thing. It was only like a minute long, and then at the end I'd be like, I'm gonna make comics full time, and I've been grinding it out. And then when I got to the point where I could do it, I was like, this isn't as fulfilling as I thought it was gonna be.
And you know what it is that when you have a wife and you have kids, you realize how much more fulfilling that is than anything you could have thought about as a single guy. Like, and it to the point where I can't quantify how fulfilling my family is to a single guy.
This is like the most, like everyone listening, guys, go get married right now and start procreating. Like, what are you doing? Why? What do you? Go make. What are you, gay? Go make some babies. Go make some babies.
You fit right in on this channel, dude.
Make good marriage choices, then make.
Yeah, exactly. Go find a wife who's dedicated and loyal and that you're gonna love, and then go make babies. Don't be gay. Come on.
Don't be gay.
Come
what,
on.
Are you gay? What,
Yeah.
You want a wife?
What are you, a loser? You want to be single and not have children, and you don't want to take them to preschool and be up till 4 a.m. like changing shit. You want to do that?
But dude, and everybody talks about it. It's like a downside, but you sit there, dude. Like my kids they're older. You know, my youngest will be 7 this year, and I'm just like, I don't know where the time went, dude. And like you see all their personality, it's crazy, dude. But like I said, you get into the
21. I don't know where the time went.
Yeah,
dude.
well, yeah, no. But that's the thing is like, so you get into the creative process. You busted your ass for years to do this. So let's talk about the bust your ass to get to years, because we do have single guys in the chat that are looking to do what you were doing. And I think that you have some seriously valuable information, because I mean, you were able to be like, because you just said, you're like, yeah, we funded and we had enough to live off of for a while, but I still have to go. So, but again, that was a decision you and your wife had to make together. So for the single guys out there that are doing it, talk to them. Tell them how you did it. Where does this start for you? You said something in a video a while back. You were a weeb when you were younger. You were a secret weeb. You didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I was a secret weeb.
There was some Dragon Ball shit at a pool one day with some kids.
Wow, you know the lore.
I told you I was watching it.
Yeah.
I watch your channel doesn't mean I don't watch your channel. What the fuck?
Oh man. I won't talk about like growing up, but I got into comics. I got into manga growing up, and because my friend showed it to me, and I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. And then I got into music. I was like, I want to be a punk. I want to be a pop punk rock star. And
what was your favorite band?
At the time, it was probably still. I still like Good Charlotte. Like I was in the Good Charlotte Simple Plan. Like that was my era.
Okay, I think I was a little bit before you. I was in like the Blink 182, Sum 41.
Yeah. So like I was in the ones who were like that. Like those were almost like too grungy, and so like they were like, what if we added just a little bit of a better melody, and then that's where I came in. But even though I love,
dude. Trippy, so get the fuck out of here with MCR. Get the fuck out of here with MCR.
Dude, I loved My Chemical Romance. What,
I couldn't stand those.
You can't. You tell me you think that my Welcome to the Black Parade is not as good as Down, 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 Down. Even though it's a hit song. Like, what if we just get the port?
Damn it! I mean, what's my age again? Fat Lip? Are you fucking sideways right now?
Yeah, no,
like,
those are all.
Pick one of the worst songs that Blink 182 does and stack it up to the most highly recognized mediocre songs of pop punk. Really?
No, I love. By the way, I love Blink 182 and like Sum 41. So like those guys are great.
Yeah.
The problem was I had two guitarist friends and a bassist. We're like, we can't play Blink 182 songs. We're gonna have to kick one of you guys out of the band.
And it was, and I bet it, and I bet it was the bassist that bitched.
Yeah,
because the guitarist was like, I can play bass.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. So I got, and then I got into comics one day while I was trying to I've told the story, but I was trying to download porn one day, and a pop up came up. It was like while it was loading, and it was like. Joker has his face cut off. Will Batman be able to stop him? And I'm like, well, this is way more interesting than what I'm about to do. So I clicked on the pop up and it was like, okay, comics. These are things. I used to read manga, and I went the next day. I did what I needed to do and closed the laptop. Went over to a comic book store and was like, listen, I've got some clarity. And I'm looking for some new stories, and
and I want to know why Joker got his face cut off.
Yeah, I want to know why Joker's got his face cut off, because I was just jacking off, and then I was like, oh, but so I went, so then that's how I got into comics. And that's how I got into comics, and I had made a comic growing up. I have it over there, and it's a 500-page comic. And so I was like, I loved drawing growing up. I loved storytelling. And I decided when I was like 21, I was like, I'm going to do comics full time. And my art was absolutely shit. My writing wasn't very good. And I was just like, this is what I've just got to get better. And so like literally for like the last 8 years, I've just been practicing drawing, practicing writing, and just putting out new stuff, like 2 or 3 new books every single year until one of them finally hit. And that's just the comic making side. But then like I was in journalism. I did journalism for school. I got an art scholarship because I was like, I can draw Trump. I was like, I can draw Trump. And they're like, will you make fun of Trump in the newspaper? I'm like, I don't know. You're going to give me a full-ride scholarship? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'll draw anything with Trump. Fuck that guy. You'll pay for my school. So I always joked. I'm like, guys, Donald Trump paid for my school. I love that guy. I love that guy. And then I hated journalism when I found out how not objective it was. I was interviewing at places like, are you okay with this being a pro Hillary Clinton paper? I'm like, what does that even mean? I thought we were journalists. And then even other journalists, other like places were like, we're a pro Trump site. I'm like, what is this? I'm so confused. So
that shouldn't be a thing, but it is.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing, but it is. And so luckily I was telling my friend this, and his dad was like, hey, I have a marketing position open at my company. Do you want to take it? And I took it. I didn't know anything about marketing. It was a bullshit job. I was watching Netflix all day. And then when I got bored of Netflix, I was like, I should probably learn how to do some of this marketing stuff so I can get a new job. And I started watching a bunch of marketing videos. I started implementing that stuff at my work. And then I got another marketing job. And then I was there for another year doing some more content marketing and stuff. And then I landed a job at a publisher, a book publisher. And I was there for 5 years selling books. My full-time job every single day was marketing and selling books. And that's where I learned a ton about business, especially for books. And that's kind of like now bringing that back to like my tweet today, where I was like, my marketing is going to be insane. I like had this realization while I was shitting on the toilet the other day. I was like, I made that company, that publisher, millions of dollars selling books, and I never did one tweet or made one YouTube video. I was like, why have I not been implementing any of those tactics to my own stuff? Why have I been so like high strung on doing Twitter and YouTube? It's because what everyone else does. But when I went to my day job, we didn't do a single one of those things, and that kind of clicked with me a couple of days ago.
So
because Twitter isn't real life.
Well, and that's kind of one of the things that I was thinking about, because I had this conversation with a guy this last week. He's in like the Comics Gate community and all that, and we had a back and forth, but he was saying it's like, oh no, people like they need to like get into the Comics Gate community and they like sell in the Comics Gate community, and I was like, no, I think you're wrong. And he, what do you mean? I was like, well, that's small beans, dude. I didn't say it like that. I can't remember exactly what I said, but basically I'm like, no, you need to sell to more people.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of the people, not just like this small. And it's like, I feel like that's the trap. It's like you get on Twitter and like you only wanted to sell to people on Twitter. And it's like, what? Twitter over the world has what, a few million people? And like there's like 300 million people just in this country. and they're
Well,
trying to
like-
sell to like a percentage of that through the whole world. It's like, come on, guys, up your game. Sorry, Daniel, go on.
No, it's cool. Actually, good question for Tyler. The theory that I've always heard is you drill into your niche and then you spread.
Yeah.
You find the people interested in what you're creating.
Yeah.
You get them as your initial fan base, and then you spread outward.
Yeah. So how it works is I try to tell creators this, and then I get this like bullets shot at me.
Dude, I love your takes. I love it. I think one of the first live streams I saw you do, and I was just like, wow, this man speaks facts. And then I saw your comments, and I was like, wow, his comments are full of a bunch of bitches.
Hey, listen, man, they'll sell.
Here's what's very interesting. I don't know that I actually did follow Tyler, but I get his stuff on my feed so much because I intentionally check because of your takes. You had really sound things to say.
I try.
It got me interested, and I don't know why I never hit the follow button, but I think it's because your stuff just pops up on my timeline anyway.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. As long as I'm popping up, like
always,
we're good. We call those vanity numbers in marketing, or like someone's like, I have 100,000 followers. I'm like, yeah, you got 2 likes. I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing. So you were talking about like doing the marketing stuff. Sorry,
No, you're good. Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Who knows?
oh, this is how it goes.
Actually, this is a lot better than some. Our record is 9 minutes off the rails. You've gone 41.
It's a very low bar.
It's a low bar.
So like I always tell creators, I'm like, step 1, when you make your comic, like you need to fill out an ICP, your ideal customer profile. And they're like, okay, what's that? And I'm like, okay, what's the gender of your ideal customer? Well, it's male and female. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, shut up. Like, it's wrong. You like really like Victoria's Secret is like, oh yeah, men and women. Maybe that actually does work.
I was gonna say they are now.
That does work.
That's a really bad analogy because a lot of dudes have been in Victoria's Secret buying stuff.
Let's go dildos then. Like dildos. You can shove a dildo up your ass. You can shove a dildo up your ass.
Well, once again, I kind of feel like
can we please pick something
mind.
else because you're picking things that I've seen things on the internet. How about let's go old school Transformers?
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, Transformers. You go. Okay, that's male, and it's male kids, maybe like 12. Probably 10 or 12-year-olds because they've got guns and blasters, and maybe a parent doesn't want their kid to have that. So like you just fill out this like, what does your ideal customer look like? Like, what's their age? Where do they live? Because like all over the world, you go, oh really? Like the kid in Iraq. The kid in Iraq wants your book. No. So like he can't get it. He's going through stuff. So you first know who your customer is, and then once you know who your customer is, you then need to go. Okay, how am I going to sell to them? And how am I going to sell to them? And then that goes to step 2, which is you have to understand how to sell to someone. There's 5 ways to sell to someone. Is you either cold message them, and there's pros and cons to each of these. I'm not going to get into that, but unless you guys want me to. But there's cold messaging, paid advertising, working with an affiliate or company, creating content, or word of mouth. All of them have pros and cons. Word of mouth, like you can't control that unless you have a good product. So like you can't be like, I'm gonna do all word of mouth. It's like, where do you start? And then
although that could be the easiest one for a lot of people potentially, or am I wrong?
It's probably the lowest effort one.
You have to have a stellar product. So an example I'll give is Common America. The Common America guys, Iconic Comics. It's just 2 guys, and they put out their first book, and everyone's like, holy crap, this is really good. So then they have all these people doing fan art, all these people sharing it. They have all these, and then like all these other artists from different countries are doing fan art of them, and then it just blows up because of just word of mouth. So that's an example. Yeah. So once you figure out how you're going to sell to someone, you then go for it.
No, just really quick, because I love this comment in the chat right now. I try to grab those as the conversation goes on. I don't usually pull them up on screen, but this one here for Picture Pub, Nerdy Fathers, that's my target. Okay, So go for it, Tyler. What would you quantify as nerdy fathers, and how would you get nerdy fathers?
Well, you have to ask yourself, what is a nerdy father? Like, are they reading comics? Are they into like Brandon Sanderson high fantasy? You have to get so specific because if you just say nerds, you're like, what nerds? Because what you nerd out on, I don't nerd out on.
That probably could have worked. That might have worked better like 30 years ago, but the term has gotten so diluted, what I mean? Because there used to be, what was that? There used to be websites like Think Geek and stuff like that. Even remember back to the, I forget what they were called, but those boxes of just random.
Oh yeah.
That they would sell. Right?
What was that?
I mean,
wasn't it like Nerd Box or Geek Box or something like that?
I think it was Geek Box.
I think it was
or something.
Maybe
it was. I think it was Loot Box or Loot Crate.
Oh,
Loot Crate.
Yeah. Well, dude,
we got there. Like anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, and like I actually thought about because like the Loot Crate thing was there for a while, and I was like, oh, maybe I should. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna go see some like unboxing because some people do like unboxings, right? I just got my Loot Crate, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't give a shit about none of this.
Yeah.
Why would I subscribe to because I try to be an informed,
Nerd.
customer, and I'm. Oh yeah, right. Shut up, nerd. So anyway, okay, so go.
But you have to get really specific. So like I always say, like, okay, my target always went over 6'3".
I got nothing. I don't like my.
So you're gonna want a Planet Fitness subscription.
Yeah.
or you need to find the mascara.
Yeah. I have a marketing solution for everyone.
He arrives on the shore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He arrives on the shores of the mascara. Ladies, I'm the only man on the island. That's your marketing solution. Be the only man in a secluded area of the world with 6'3" women. There you go.
Yeah, and just be like, I am the short king, and you're like, oh, this guy, or he just has like a, you're like,
short king.
Yeah, I'm the short king.
In the ocean and go back.
Yeah, and they're like, how big is it? You're like. You want it? Even though, Anyway,
it's unfortunate because I actually have a story about someone doing that.
Oh my god!
On the table?
Oh yes.
Did it make the sound that my table made with my arm?
Nope. Even better because it had a piercing in it.
Oh no!
Oh Lord.
Dude, go them, by the way.
Go them, right?
Go them.
Well, dude, Stifler used to say rock out with your cock out, and that man's did it.
Yeah, go.
He sure did. In a
that
guy.
Oh god.
So nerdy fathers.
How the hell did we get here? Oh, Evely Music said something about 6'3".
Yeah, I never
Evely, I blame you.
What a mistake that was.
Oh man.
But Down Productions. Well, I'm going to be in need of urgent confessions this Sunday. Oh no.
You and me both, my friend.
I'm just hoping he's actually Catholic and not. No.
Me and the guy.
Oh fucking
not into
Evely
nuns.
Music.
Pimp out with your limp out, man. Yeah. Dude, I will say, like, in high school, I remember like leaked photos of like Chris Brown's like Sean Klon came out, and I just remember being like, it's flaccid.
Oh no.
But it's close to his knees. It's flaccid.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet was
I'm like, also, this actually isn't big.
I tried following the advice in the stream and got arrested. Don't do that.
Kane's like, so I have a comic. Hold on.
Okay, so
John Talk told me to do it. Trust me.
Yeah. Trust Tyler. Everybody trust Tyler. He is
the
most. Do everything. Everything he says is gospel. Everything, all of it.
Yes. But yeah, once you figure out who your customer is and how you're going to sell to them, you have to go, okay, now I know how I'm going to sell to them. Like, what like you have to pick your route. So if you're like, I'm gonna go the publisher route, you need to find a publisher that's gonna meet the needs of your customers. So if you're like, I make high fantasy books, you're gonna want to like reach out to like a publisher like Tor, because they do Brandon Sanderson's book. They do that kind of stuff. If you're like, I'm gonna create content, I'm gonna be a content creator, and that's how I'm gonna market my book. Okay, start Googling what do people in the high fantasy stuff look like, and what do they watch? Maybe you become a commentator on like Rings of Power, Game of Thrones, blah blah blah, all the stuff that people are talking about.
Yep.
And you just make yourself look like an expert, and then the go-to, that's the content route. And then after that, you just hopefully you are able to build after that you just grind. After that, you just grind, and you're learning how to do it. Like your first YouTube videos aren't going to be good. You're going to go, oh, this is how I'm entertaining. This is how I talk to a camera. This is what my title and thumbnail needs to look like. Oh, and you start getting better. But most people after the first like year, they're just like, I can't do this. And it's like, no, it's not that you can't do it. You just don't want to learn how to do it. Because trust me, if you were killing it, you would keep doing it.
And that right there, the learning how to do it part,
it's hard.
It's hard. It's like, I mean, so it's one thing. Like I talk a lot. Always have talked a lot. My parents said I said my first word when I was 2, and I haven't shut up since. But actually getting that to come across well on camera and well in what I say, like there are some videos and I'm like, damn, dude, I killed it. And then there are other videos that I'm just like, Royce, what the fuck? Like it's hard. It's hard to figure out exactly how to narrate that stuff. And like it could be something that your audience is interested in, but if you don't say it right, if you don't say it in an interesting way, and I mean, I have the luck of just having an absolutely bonkers personality, so I can kind of tap different parts of it when I need to. But a lot of people don't have that, and that's
don't say that, Daniel. You do.
No, like Daniel literally.
I'm lukewarm as a motherfucker.
Daniel, I told you to buy that microphone for a reason. Please move it closer to your face.
No.
No. He's like, Royce, what microphone should I have? I'm like, Daniel, I got this microphone for you. Here's the test, dude. Keep it about like this far away, so you're talking, motherfuckers got it this far away.
Daniel makes a YouTube channel. He's like, man, fuck all the commenters saying my audio isn't very good. Like, I got the microphone. Like, they keep saying put it closer, but like, would you put a dick close to your face? Like, that's gay. Like, no way am I doing that.
It's for show only.
It's for show.
It's to be like, it's not even plugged in. He's using his computer audio.
I know. Microphone. Dude, there have been a few nights I'm like, Daniel, do you have the right microphone on? He goes, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean?
Damn,
You gotta plug this in?
So sounds a little Hero Darky Dark sounds a little gay. Respectable. What the fuck?
No.
Oh god. Okay. So you get your target audience, you figure out how to sell it, whether you're going to go the publisher route or now you talked about that, finding a publisher that's in line with what you want to do.
Yeah.
How about being indie? What do you do there?
Well, deal with the indie. I mean, you can like with indie, that's where you have to decide, okay, if you're not going to go publisher, you have to either go content, either go cold message, and like pros, you can do that to everyone. Cons, everyone hates it. No one wants a message. Everyone's like, hey, I have this comic. It's like, congrats.
Like, there is one caveat to what he just said about cold messaging somebody. If you do a show like what we do, where we're like, hey, we're here to promote other people. If you would like to come on, please let us know. The caveat to that is don't get mad at us because we have 60 people who have done the same thing that you're doing right now.
Yes.
And it might take us a while to get to everyone. Because
they're not asking you to buy something. They're asking to give you your time.
Exactly. So full transparency, dude. So we have a Google form and we've asked, we're like, hey guys, if you're interested in being on the show, fill out the Google form because we suck at remembering at who reaches out to us. So we're like, hey, fill out the Google form so that way we can remember, right? And when Chuck had to cancel on us today, we were like, oh shit, okay, so what do we do? So we pull up the Google form and we look at what do we have? 12 or 13 different people. And I'm literally sitting there actively going through projects, right? Who's got books out, who's actively funding within the next week, or who's got a project up right now. Like I'm going through all of those. And then you had messaged us. and like, hey, dude, I can totally help you guys out. And I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. So we've already scheduled Tyler. He's already a scheduled guest. He has the time available. I don't have to reach out. Like, that saved us a lot of pressure. There's a lot of stuff, even just doing a show like this, where it's like, hey guys, if you want to be on, let us know. But there's a whole lot of complications on that end as well.
Yeah.
You know? And I know you've had people on your show to help promote and stuff like that and talk with people. And I'm like, I'm sure you've gotten the cold calls or the cold messages.
Dude, I used to do like 4 live shows a week. And, you know, my wife loved that.
I do 3 right now, sometimes 4 still. If it's tabletop RPG night, like it's 4 a week.
Geez, that's intense. Yeah. So I was doing 4 a week, and then I was like, I'm only gonna do 2 a week, and then it got to like 1 a week, and then I would start getting like hey, I need to come on your show like now to promote, and I'm like, dude, I'm booked, and they go, well then do it, I'm booked, and then they're like, well do it on Wednesday. I'm like, I only stream on Mondays, and they're like, well make an exception, and I'm like, you're not getting it, like this is the only time I'm doing this. I am sorry that this is like happening to you right now, but like yeah.
It's like, I tell people this, I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. Because again, we have a lot of people who want to come on the show, and we also have people that we want to have on the show too, right? Like we want to have, because we want to get professionals to come in and talk to people who are at the entry level, because the pros, they know how to do it, right? And that's valuable information for like the info you're giving right now as a guy who's done it. Like, you're a pro in the indie space. You'll be able to give us a
dildos, guys. Like, just get them out, man.
But you'll be able to you will be able to give a lot of valuable information, right? And I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you guys want to be on the show, I was like, there's 2 things. 1, fill out the Google form months in advance. Like, when you think that, oh, hey, I will be funding in March, you need to be submitting into the Google form like today. And then 2, also bother me about it and remind me. Because we book, again, a month to a month and a half in advance. We've tried really narrowing it down to a month, but it just doesn't work out like that.
There's just so many. I mean, that's why like I actually when I do a campaign, I don't book appearances anymore for podcasts. I just like, I don't like, you know, you see the people that go on the tour, like the world tour of podcasts and shows. I don't do that anymore. 1, because I don't need to, but 2, no, I do.
I love how he wore a collared shirt tonight just for that gag.
Yeah. but 2, I think one problem that we have in the indie comic sphere is the fact that we're only having creators only want to go on live shows to promote, and those are some like the worst shows. And like I'm always like, I actually go on shows, I don't even want to shill, I just want to have good conversation. And
he said tonight he didn't want to shill, and I called.
I'm gonna try my best not to.
I'm
but like,
I don't. Make you shill. I'm gonna make you shill. You're gonna smile while you do it. What?
Like, by my butt. But yeah, but I agree with you. Like, when people cold message people, it's like, you know, like the pros, like you can do that to anyone and it's infinite. The cons, like, you have to respect people's time, and it might actually make someone pissed off at you, and then like they'll never back your project. The second one is paid advertising, and you need money for that. And a lot of creators, let's be real, they're trying to put their money, they don't even have money to finish the comic, let alone put paid advertising in it. And then like, if they're not good, if you don't know how to do paid advertising, you're just gonna lose money. Like, I have $100 to do Facebook ads. I've never done it before. You just lost your $100.
Don't do Facebook ads. Don't. As somebody who has done Facebook ads in the past, do not, especially now, because you know what? Facebook's like, oh, we would love to advertise. Put your ad here. And then somebody clicks on the Facebook ad, and you know what Facebook says? Are you sure you want to go to this website?
Yeah, I do hate that.
Dude, they like literally, you pay Facebook to advertise, and then as soon as you go for the redirect, Facebook has a page that says, are you sure you want to go to this website? You need to be careful with the websites that you visit. And then like I would probably say 60% of people, if not more, go, oh, I don't want to malicious. You're advertising on Facebook. Facebook let you advertise there, and now they actively discourage the people clicking on your link from leaving. Like,
well, they want you to have a store set up, right? So that's one of the things that's kind of, I think, has changed over the last 10 years, that a lot of, I would say, e-commerce advice, sort of wisdom that's been in the zeitgeist for a while has not caught up to, is that everywhere now has storefronts. So if you're going to advertise on social media, you probably need to have
the best marketing
a
strategy.
store native to that social media account, right? You know what I mean? So you need to have your storefront, a storefront that runs through Facebook. It's easier to do with like Shopify and all these other things, but now you're pushed into not only are you paying for that, but now you're paying for $30 a month or $40 a month for Shopify, and then you may have to pay for plugins. And if you aren't tech savvy, you're paying somebody to help you with it. You know,
it all adds up. How much it costs, and then just like the knowledge gap, like it gets super hard. I will say though, like, Facebook ads, and they're just getting worse every year. I will say that like Facebook ads is a good start. TikTok is I've been doing TikTok lately. I've just been freaking dancing my ass off. So I've been doing TikTok. I think I have like 4,000 followers on there right now.
I don't understand.
I feel like you're memeing us right now. But...
No, I do. Dude, I'm the shit, man.
Okay,
dude, I'm bending my back backwards, shaking this ass.
Drop your TikTok link.
No, because I can't, because that's chilling.
That's chilling.
That's chilling.
All right, well, then I'll find it.
But
John Talk be twerking. What?
It's like it just depends. I mean, it just depends on like your paid advertising strategy and like how like what I always say, if you're gonna do content, only pick one or two platforms that you're going to go all in on. Like a problem that creators are like, I need Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's like TikTok. It's like, no, because you will burn out. Like you will burn out so hard. So like for me, I only do YouTube. I do YouTube, Twitter, and then like the occasional TikTok. And like I did TikTok super hard for like 5 months. I was doing like 3 or 4 videos a day. Whoa. And then I died. And I think I've come back every now and then. But I died hard. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I have literally gotten to a point where I'm like, nope, YouTube and Twitter.
Dude, and here's the thing, like I was growing a following on there. Like I went live on TikTok, I had like 100 people watching. And I was like, this is awesome. But and some of it translated to sales, but like you never. Like there are channels where you go, oh, I wonder what their YouTube video that they posted last week was because I missed it. You never go, oh, I missed that TikTok. Like no one goes back and goes to try. If it isn't on your feed, it's gone. And so it was just the everyday grind. I was like, I cannot do this. So yeah, for me, so I choose MySpace and Friendster. That's funny. Oh, someone put Bebo. Wow.
I just found out this week that apparently Aston Kutcher bought MySpace and turned it into a music thing. He's gonna go look. I haven't even looked it up. I hope you get malware.
MySpace. Well, it doesn't look like anyone's doing it. I do remember when that sale happened and like they rebranded it. And
okay.
It went to crap.
Dude, that was like. Fuck! I'm not even gonna go back into the
go them for trying to make that happen again.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's like so that's paid advertising, and like that the skill gap is hard. So then after that, and it's a skill gap and a money gap and a money. So then if you go, okay, if I just want skill gap, then you go into content marketing,
right?
And after that. Even then that's hard. So you got to figure out, am I going to write? Am I going to make videos? What's my strategy for content marketing? Cause you can do both. I mean, you can make really compelling blogs that will drive traffic to your website and make sales. And you can also make videos that will get tons of views, and then you can grow a following. So you just got to figure out like, okay, what's my strategy with my content. Most indie creators though, they think the comic that they've made is the content. And I always tell people like, and creatives hate this, but I'll go, your comic isn't your content. That's a product. Your content is there to attract an audience to get them to buy your product, which is your comic. And anytime I say, they go, well, that's just business, man, and that's gay. And I'm like, you're gay.
And how much money are you making?
Yeah, I hate.
Dude, I had that argument. I had that argument. I had that argument with the guy last week on the channel. He's like, no, comic book business, it's totally different than normal business. I'm like, what?
You're like, what?
Yeah. I was like, no. I was like, okay, so there's business, but then once you put the word comic in front of it, it's totally different.
Yeah, man. It's like you're queer. It's like you're gay, but now you're queer.
Right? Like, no, but again, and he didn't understand that, and I was like, so what's the difference? It was like, well, it's like the output. It's like what you. I'm like, dude. But again, there is a lock, and this is why a lot of people don't understand that the old school comic book publishers, the Marvels and the DCs, and even the Image guys, they had the creative team and they had the marketing team. And for those people, and occasionally you get a guy in there who understands both, but not very often. But occasionally you get those guys that understand both. They can create and they can also market. But for some reason, creatives think that, oh no, doing art is so wildly transcendent to the rest of human existence, you don't need to market. It transcends everything. And I'm like, the fuck are you smoking?
Yeah, get that dildo out of your ass, man. Like,
no, seriously, I like it.
They think that the product is the content.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again, Daniel.
They think that the product is the content.
It's
cart before the horse.
No, dude, it's so insane that people think that way, and it's what I like to call the starving artist mentality. It is the starving artist mentality. I'm sorry, and that has just been so baked in. Everybody everybody wants to be the starving artist, right? And what I mean by that is
they want to wear it's a badge of honor.
Yeah, dude, it is, and it's like, well, I don't understand. And
I will say this: I think that I don't think that people want to be starving artists. I think what they want is attention and status,
validation,
right? Validation. They want something, and because they can't get the financial side figured out, either because of whatever reason, then they're going to settle for the status side, and their status only looks like.
The reason why my comic doesn't want to make money is I don't want to sell my soul.
Exactly.
I'm not a capitalist whore.
That's actually, I want to talk to you. Hold on. We could rant on this, but I want to talk to Tyler about some of his products here.
Have you seen my rants, Tyler? No. Damn it. Fine, Richard. I'll rant when you leave.
Yes. I am going to head out here before too long.
Motherfucker, did you just point at me?
No, I'm okay. Maybe I did. I don't know. Listen here, Royce.
Yeah, that way. There you go.
There we go.
The fuck out of you, Richard. Thank you for getting us back on track.
Yeah, with your some of your products, I know that you've talked about like some of your sexier products, right? Some of your projects are, I don't know. People will criticize him and say, "Oh well, he's not pursuing the pinnacle of artistry or something like that." Do you think like what's your response to that? First of all, I guess I have a follow-up question probably. But.
Yeah. So I think for me, okay, I'll ask you this question. Richard, do you know who Charlie D'Amelio is?
No, I do not offhand.
Okay. So you don't know who Charlie D'Amelio is. She's the #1 TikToker. She has the most followers. She has like 500 million whatever subscribers. She makes the most money.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you don't know that means that which means that she wins in her little bubble and I can win on my little bubble.
Ah, okay.
And
Oh.
so like to me, like to me in this digital world that we live in, I don't think we're ever gonna have like and if we do, it's gonna be like 1 in a million. I don't think we're ever gonna have like a Neil Gaiman or like these like household names, like even like actors, like what, like I think you have like Tom Cruise and Leonardo DiCaprio are like the last like Hollywood actors where you're like, I'm gonna go see a Tom Cruise movie, and now it's like I'm gonna go see this Marvel movie. I don't know who the fuck is in it. So to me, when people say like, Tyler, you're not gonna reach the pinnacle of storytelling, it's like I don't need to hit the pinnacle of storytelling. I just need to sell to the people that want to read my stuff, because someone could go to like Charlie D'Amelio and go, Charlie, do you think like you're like are you ever going to hit like the peak of what a creator is? And she's like, and she would go, I have 500 million subscribers. I'm killing it, but she's killing it in her own bubble. So I think you can kill it in your own bubble. And if someone's like, I don't think Tyler's stories are like going to transcend time. I'm like, they probably aren't.
Oh, wait. Well, actually, this hits on a point that I have said so many times to a lot of people. And I use obviously Tolkien as an example because he's the father of the modern fairy story, or fairy tales as we call them. He called them fairy stories back in his day. But I tell people, I'm like, Tolkien is world renowned. And I tell people he's multi-generational, right? Not only is he multi-generational, he is also all ages. As long as you can read his work, as long as you can read it and have a good comprehension, it doesn't matter if you're 5 or 55, you can read Tolkien, right? And his work was so good that it spanned multiple generations and was the #1 book of the 20th century, second to the Bible. Right?
And that's an old book.
Yeah, then that's an old book. But I tell people, I'm like strive for that. And I get a lot of people telling me like, well, not everybody can be Tolkien. I never said you had to be Tolkien. But if you're gonna write a book, because I do think because I come at this and I think you may be able to sympathize this at least a little bit. I have 4 children, right? And
I only have 2.
None of them. Well, okay, but none of them have a superhero or a story or a story that they all love really together, that is American, or that holds the certain values that we grew up with, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm on this journey. I want to find books that I can give to my kids. I tell everybody, give me something that I can put in the hands of my children.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I can sympathize with that. A lot.
And give me something that I can give to my kids, right? It's not to say that some of the scantily clad ladies and stuff like that, like there's some books out there. Even my wife is like, we got to buy these because my wife is like, the art's gorgeous, and they've got but again, I can't give those to my kids now. But I want my kids to have. I want. Do you think in the digital age that we live in? Sorry, this is a really long diatribe.
You're good.
But there's a lot of context here. Do you think in the digital age that we live in, where everybody's selling in their bubbles, do you think we're ever going to see another Tolkien?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, Brandon Sanderson, like he's probably like the top. So Tolkien equals timeless.
Yes.
And like I would almost argue that like Harry Potter is timeless.
I don't disagree. Are we going to see another one? Are we going to see another one?
That's a great question. Like
in the internet age,
the internet is so new still. Like we still don't know. Like if Mr. Beast comes out with a children's book, is that timeless? Like I don't know. Like I have no idea. So like for me, like when I create stuff, like there's some books I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna let my kid read. And then there's other books I'm like I hope he doesn't ever know that I made this at some point. Like, Dad, you made this? What? I think so. Yeah, I mean, when I was working at that book publisher, I mean, I would go to these conferences, and you're always trying to find like who's the next big author who I can try to sign, or who's doing what. And this sounds really bad, but I'll pull the curtain. Most books don't. Go into your local Barnes and Noble. 99% of those books will never sell more than 300 copies ever, forever. Right. So So to be being an author full time is already like an impossible task.
Mhm.
To be timeless is even harder. When we would get book submissions, this sounds horrible, but this was just the truth. Because when I worked at that book publisher, I mean, it was hard because like everyone there is a creative, but when you're at work, there's nothing like, I don't care how good the book is. Did it make money? Because that's what's paying my salary.
Yep.
So what happened was we would get some amazing books like submitted to us, and we would just go, that was amazing. I can't market it. I have no idea how to market this. I don't know even like how to get it into the right people. And then also this person has 0 followers because they're just some unknown.
Yep.
So instead,
but you said the book was
so
amazing.
going back.
But the book was amazing. But in this day and age of advertising, most people are buying books from people that they know or they heard about, and it's all name.
Yeah.
Like Brandon Sanderson at this point can put out something because he's Brandon Sanderson, but he had the book, he has the resume. But if a new fantasy author comes out, like, how do you know his book is good? He's gonna have to do some content marketing. I'm thinking of like Daniel Green on like YouTube and whatnot. I don't even know if his book is good, but from a business standpoint, I know it sells, and objectively, that's all I need to know that I'm gonna sign that book. What were you gonna say, Richard?
Oh, I was gonna say, so going back to the reeling it back a ways to the ideal customer profile thing.
Yeah.
Right? So the problem there is that you had what you thought was a good product, but you didn't match your customer profile. How do you like what is your advice to indies? I mean, obviously, step one is start thinking about it because so many people don't think about these things, right? And it's difficult to think about. But like, what is your advice beyond that? What's the next step?
You want to hear something horrible? So I posted this on Twitter and I got flamed. I was like, oh, I thought this was a good idea. Never mind. I got flamed. This is the sucky thing about being a creative. So like being creative, awesome. Trying to make money in it, that sucks. That's hard. There are just some you have to be okay with the fact that there are some genres that are never going to sell as much as other genres. So like if you're going to, and also it goes like low barrier of entry, but there's no easy to get into the fold, but there's no one reading the books. Tons of people buying the books, but then there's too many creators in there. So it's like, then you're all fighting for the pie. So for example, top one, erotic romance novels, like number one, like everyone's reading those. My wife's upstairs reading one right now, just thinking about how ugly I am. She's like, Tyler doesn't have a 6-pack. So like, if like I was today, like I want to get into erotic romance writing. Well, it's going to be very hard for me to make a name for myself because there's like 100 other people doing it and they're already killing it.
More than that.
Yeah, they're more like, exactly. There's more than that. Last year, there was in the book sales alone, I think there was like in the erotic in the romance category alone, there was like 20 million copies of books sold in the romance, and I think like 10 million of them were from one author, Colleen Hoover, only because she went viral on TikTok. And the book that everyone was buying came out like 4 years prior to that. So like when it comes to like your customer profile, you just have to go and it kind of goes with like crowdfunding and whatnot. Like if you go on a Kickstarter right now, the books that are doing and it is a problem, but the books that are doing really well right now are erotica, porn books.
Yep.
Then the next level so like it goes like one like mainstream like Kickstarter books do well, like Power Rangers, but then if you're like straight indie, it's like erotica. Like and it used to be like on Kickstarter, like you'd put NSFW and it just meant like you had a titty cover, like that's all it meant. But now people are literally asking me, yo Tyler, do the sisters and Super Plumber Sisters fuck? And I'm like, no they don't. They go, oh, okay, that's sad, I was gonna back the book. but they don't fuck. Lord. And I'm like okay, it's a really good book, it's rated teen. They go, I'm looking for something a little more, and I'm like, oh yeah, Pornhub.
They're not Fudo? Oh my god!
I feel like
How dare you?
surely Japan has that market covered, but I don't know.
Well, so like with Kickstarter, like if you put out a book that has that's like erotica, you're gonna sell more than the person who's doing superheroes on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing and that's just a pill you have to swallow. And so if you are in a tough genre, then you have to go, okay, how do I get the best results? So if you're going to if you have a superhero book, so I always say that crime noir is like crime noir and horror are like the worst books to put on Kickstarter. They're very difficult to break like the 5 figures. And so how you beat that is you do content marketing. You build a following around you so that when you do put it, you can send people over to Kickstarter to back it. Because if you're just relying on the Kickstarter algorithm, they don't want it. The Kickstarter customer pool, they don't want it. And people are like, no, Tyler, you just don't understand the algorithm. I was like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Watch me. I made a fake account. Okay, it's not fake because I made it, but like I made a secret account last year and I put a book, I put a book out. It was called My Sexy Witch Academia. I told 0 people. I told one person. I told one friend. I was like, bet. And then within the first 10 hours, it funded. And then within the first week, it did $3,000. I didn't tell a single person. And then I told my fan base, and then it reached to like 15,000. But like that was after I told people. But honestly, like on a secret account, I probably could have gone to like $7,000 just with not telling anyone. And I proved everyone that was like, guys, there is a bias on this platform because I didn't tell a single person. And I crushed like most of you. I crushed most of you Kickstarter creators, and I didn't do a single piece of marketing. And so I just think just depending on what your work is, you have to go, okay, if the pool is already not like in my favor of how many people there are, then I need to create that pool myself and start finding. So if fantasy doesn't do well on Kickstarter, then you got to start building yourself up. Also, here's something crazy. Crowdfunding isn't the end all be all.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing that indie creators think, oh, like my book didn't do well on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. It's like, okay, are you done selling your book? Or like I have a series called Demons, and I think in total, after 4 campaigns, it made $5,000. Like in total for all the volumes combined, it made $5,000. And then I've still been selling it though for the last 6 years. And it's now hit like $15,000. So like, just because like, so you can keep selling your shit. Like, so like, does that make that book a fail? Like, absolutely not.
Well, that's something that I kind of ran into with like a total, like with Anvil that I just didn't get at all. That was a psychology for a lot of comic creators, which was that, oh, well, I'm only going to print 200 of these. It was very much in kind of like the 90s, like limited edition sales, like the comic is an investment as well as a product.
With an indie comic creator?
Yeah. I ran across some folks who made that pitch, and I just like it never that was not something that ever entered my mind as a possibility. Right. I understand that there's some comics that will go up in value and everything.
But not dude. I had someone messaging me. I was telling some people the other day. I was like, I had someone messaging me this week to go, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not backing any of your projects anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. How come? He goes, I'm a collector and I flip books and I can't resell any of your books. And I'm like, bitch, you thought you could resell my books? No one. You thought you could make money off my books? No one's making money. I'm not making money off my books. You think you're gonna make money? Yeah, it's just like with indies, it goes back to like that, like moral, like like look how great I am. I'm an artist. I'm starving artist status. My book's limited edition. It's like, why aren't you selling this to as many people as you can? Like, I'm only printing 200. Okay. Your book's not going up in value because you're nobody and your book is nothing. Like when people ask me like, Tyler, where do you see your books in like 30 years? I'm like, I don't know.
In a box in somebody's basement after some dude dies and their kids have to clean.
Yeah,
it up,
like someone.
But that's the reality of it.
That's the reality of it. Like I hope the people who are reading it right now are having a great time. I hope that when I get to the trades, they'll end up putting it on their bookshelf one day. But in like 20 years, are people gonna go, yeah, there was this guy named Tyler, and I'm like, no, they're gonna be like, Dad, why is this girl got metal fists? Like that, wait, how come Mario and Luigi are girls now?
And that's not to say that it wouldn't be baller if your books just blew up to high fame and all of a sudden, like, draw and talk comics everywhere, have a silly goose time with us, and you're on all the shows and people are asking, Tyler, we can't get in. But the reality of it is there's so many people out there creating right now. I saw somebody say the other, and I don't remember who this was, and it is a person that I really, really like in the indie space, but I think they had it backwards. They were like, they're like, the thing is, like, there's just not enough customer base out there for all of the creatives that are out here. And I'm like, no, the market is oversaturated. Okay, so you're looking at a small bit. There are there's over 350 million people alone in this country. If you think there's not enough people to buy comics, your field of view is way too small.
I honestly believe that there is there is 1,000 customers for every creator, and they go, well, but it's your job to find those 1,000 customers
because there's what, 8 billion people.
There's 8 billion people. Yeah, exactly. Going back though to your timeless thing, I just thought about this. Timelessness is not created, as in like you can't it's timelessness isn't controllable.
No, it's not.
So like I can't put like, I think a lot of creators are like, I'm going to put out something timeless. It's like it's not in your control. What is in your control? Putting out a really good product and marketing and selling it. And if it's timeless after that, like that's fantastic. But if not, at least just focus on what you can control, which is you can control yourself making a good story.
Yeah.
I also think that generally speaking, there's a kind of momentum that you have to build up to that, right? Because timeless has to be kind of like a meeting place of both like timeless values, timeless stories and ideas, you know what I mean? So things that are going to remain true, and also a level of quality that you're probably not going to achieve just on your first shot,
100%.
Or even on your 10th shot.
What's up, Daniel?
Plus opportunity. Opportunity is the fact
it has to be seen. Yeah,
the big thing with the timeless classics of anything is they tend to happen well after the person has died. And that's because the time created the opportunity for it. There was some sort of relevance that it had, not at the time of its production, but later on in the span of history. That's how it generally works.
Going back to that Colleen Hoover thing, like she sold like 10 million copies of that book that she put out 4 years prior that didn't do very well. So like,
dude, and that was something I wanted to say earlier. It's the difference between instant gratification and legacy.
Yes.
And I see so many people looking at the instant gratification portion of it instead of the legacy part. And by legacy, I don't mean being remembered throughout time. I mean being able to sell your book for the next fucking 10 years, like you said.
Yeah. Well, there's only 2 ways to make money selling books. There's only 2 ways. No one's gonna like this answer. There's only 2 ways. The first way, by the way, the first way still requires the second way. So the second way.
So it's a 2-way.
It's a 2-way, but not everyone's gonna get the first way. So the first way is that viral hit, the J.K. Rowling,
right?
The Tolkien. It's stuff that can't be controlled. It's like what Daniel said: right place, right time. But like it had to have been made, and then it has to be that it had like all the factors. It has to have been made. It has to be that good. Right place, right time, right people, right marketing, right demographic, and like right whatever time span's going on right now. Like when Harry Potter came out, perfect time. Everyone was chill, and we were like wizards. That sounds cool.
Full transparency. I missed all of that. I grew up Catholic, traditional Catholic, and went to a traditional Catholic school. The Harry Potter books were banned in my school. And so I missed all of that. I was talking with my buddy about this when the Hogwarts Legacy game came out. I was like, well, like, I don't understand why people are so hype about this, dude. It's not like it was a big deal or anything. And my buddy was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you not on Pottermore at like figuring out what your house is?
No. No, he wasn't even talking about that, right? Because he's like he's a Harry Potter fan, but like he's like an adult Harry Potter fan. Like, no, I read it when I was a kid. I like the stories, and like he's like occasionally I'll go back and I need something to read. I'll go read the books because I've read them before, and he's like I still have a good time with it. But when he was a kid, he's like, dude, there were kids showing up to school wearing Harry Potter fucking wizard cloaks and shit like that with like wands and stuff at school. And I'm like, I don't. And he's like, do you not? He's like, you didn't see any of that? I'm like, no, I didn't realize until like 2023
how big it was
that Harry Potter was the Star Wars of a generation.
Yes.
I had no idea until I saw the movies and I knew like people talked about them. I'm like, they're all right. Like, first three I think have some more merit than the rest of them. But I had no clue that
dude, like Scholastic on like their balance sheet has like a separate line. Like, it's like books, movies, Harry Potter. just go out of how much money they make.
Dude, I had no clue. It was not. I didn't know because I was removed from that because for religious reasons and family reasons and all that. Now, granted, that being said, like my brother, he took me to go see the movies. I mean, even my dad was like, it's all fake, right? I'm like, yeah, it's a movie. He's like, all right, you're good. And my mom was like, no, it's all demons. It's like, but whatever. Yeah. But I didn't know. I had no clue.
Yeah, dude. It was, I was one of those kids.
Did you wear the robe to school?
Dude, I remember when the third one came out and I went to check it out at the library and I didn't finish the book in time in a week. So I went to go renew it and she was like, sorry, like there's a wait list. And I was like, I hate you. I looked at the library and went, I hate you. And I was crying and my mom's like, what's wrong? I'm like, she wouldn't let me keep the book. And I'm at a cadaver her, but she's alive. Yeah, so like that's the first way is the viral where you just hit stardom and like that's not that you can't control that nor is it planned. And then the second way to do books as a career is you have to keep putting out books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you have to build out your back catalog. So like, let's say your first book sells 100 copies. Cool beans. How do you get that first book to sell more? You do a second book. And then in a series. So then that second book sells 150, but then those 50 people who are like, oh wait, I need the first book. So then they go over the first book. Now you just raised book one, and you just keep putting out more books, and then people just keep buying in your back catalog. That's why
and J.K. Rowling actually pulled that off.
Yes.
Not only did she have a hit book on her hand,
she has other books.
But the more, because again, I had to learn about this last year, but I kind of remember it when I was a kid.
He's like, who the fuck is this J.K. Rowling got? Like who cares?
Well,
and they're like, she's like the richest author.
All right, listen, motherfucker. I wasn't that bad, but I didn't understand the cultural relevance it had. But when I was talking about it with my buddy, I was remembering, I was like, oh yeah. And like more and more people were like, oh yeah, the movie, the fourth movie came out. I went and I bought all the books.
Yeah.
Or the fifth movie, like it was that thing. It was like a new thing came out. I wanted more of that thing. So I went and I bought all of the.
And she kept making more books, like the Fantastic Beasts, the Quidditch one. And you're like, I have to get this.
Yeah.
Like for some reason I have to get this. And then like when she did other genres, she puts out more books. And so as an author,
this is important here. Check this out. My second book saw my sales double from those of my last year in 6 months.
Yep.
And The Hedge, dude, I remember when The Hedge released his second book and the sales went up. He got blitzed and he let us know in my Gilded.
Nice.
Right. But that's the thing. And you know what The Hedge tells you? You know what The Hedge tells you? You know what his catchphrase is? Buy my book. But again, he's building that audience, and actually quite a few people. They're building that audience. They're building an audience through networking. Like this is The Black Crown. This is John A. Douglas's new book. I haven't cracked it open yet.
Oh, I saw that. Dude, John A. Douglas, fantastic guy.
Dude, brand new author. 230 sales already, I think, is what he's at. He just released this like a month or two ago. But you know what? He's hitting the grind. He's networking with people. He's sharing it. He's got his own YouTube channel, right? He's talking with people. Blaine Lee Pardoe of BattleTech fame picked this up and reviewed it, and he had no idea, right?
That it was just this indie guy.
Yeah, no. Blanley Pardo picked this up because we're kind of in the sphere. John A. Douglas had no idea Blanley Pardo picked this up and then reviewed it. He was like, dude, he was elated that day. He was like, holy shit. Like, but it's that thing where like there are people out there who, and here's what I tell people, guys, guess what? Your friends and your family are the worst people to tell to go buy your shit.
Oh, dude, people ask me to go, Tyler, how come you don't market on Facebook? I'm like, because no one gives a shit. It's my friends and family.
Yeah.
And they're like, but I get all the likes.
You know what I share with my friends and family on Facebook? Holy fuck, look at the 2 feet of snow outside of my house.
Yeah.
It's my, it's my aunts and my uncles and my cousins and my, like nobody cares. But you know what? If I get, holy fuck, look at the snow outside of my house, nobody on Twitter cares. But if I go, holy shit,
I don't
look at
know.
this thing
Sometimes the dumbest stuff goes viral on Twitter. But
dude, I'm look, Rich, and you're gonna. All of the toxic shit we've said tonight, that's the worst.
Well, there you go.
I'm just fucking with you. No,
I have one more. I have one more question before I scurry out of here, and that is with the change from let's see here. For example, with Anvil, I took it from a crowdfunding to a subscription and just pure pre-order with the knowledge of everybody. Like you're going to be able to order it whenever you want it, right? Later on, as long as, well, except for possibly this issue with some of the physical ones, but eventually you'll be able to get more physical issues and everything else, right? And so there's not as much of the hype and pressure. Now, we kind of talked a little bit about it with the, like I'm only printing X number and everything else. It does seem to me like there is a kind of like a hype factor, and that with crowdfunding and things like that, there is a social element to that.
The FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, the
it's
FOMO factor.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think that's something that indies need to be like mindful of, and they need to pursue that aspect of it, or you were talking about other ways to sell?
Yeah. So first off,
what did your head just do?
I was like, yes, no, yes. So like when it comes to Anvil specifically, like it so like it depends.
Yeah, it's just say you don't necessarily have to respond just to me.
No, but like what is Anvil?
So it's a collection of like short fiction. So it's got art, short stories, and at least one comic per issue.
Okay, it's a magazine. It is an anthology magazine to promote indie creators and what they are doing.
It's kind of like a showcase. The idea is that it's an on-ramp for people
who
heavy
come
in and want to figure out like what's going on in the indie sphere. I want to find some authors. I want to see what's going on. I want to see artists. And the fundamental idea is that it's got some big names, but then also just whatever was the best thing that I got sent in for the issue. So it's going to be a wide variety.
What's your goal with it? What's your goal with Anvil? Make money or promote people?
It is. I want it to be financially stable, but beyond that, my main goal is to, like I said, be an on-ramp, right? So I'm not. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
So he wants it to pay for itself. So. Right? Is that right, Richard? So not necessarily that it makes money,
I'm selling it at a rate right now where it's feasible for me to keep doing it. I'm not really making money doing it, right? You know what I mean?
I'll talk about like what indie. I'll do this because I know you have to leave. I'll say what like my thoughts on like Anvil, and then I'll say like a strategy that I'm not seeing creators have with with what you're saying. So with Anvil, with something like that, I would go like, do you have a website like where you're posting all this shit?
Oh yeah, he does.
Okay, so like my thing would be like, so for example, like during like my like
that website is in the chat right now.
Thank you.
So like while I was going full time, I was like, let me create a site. So I created a site called the Webtoonist, and it was basically like a site where there's like, it's just talking about webtoons, and I was going to get the webtoon audience and blah, blah. And I was just covering news stories, covering like the different comics on there. And I gained like 1,000 subscribers to that site, like subscribers. That we had more traffic, but like we like 1,000 email subscribers, and then out of those subscribers, I had like 30 paying subscribers. The paying subscribers were like, it was like every single week, it was like sign up for the site, but then every single week we're going to give you a recap of like the articles that, so you don't have to go onto the site. That's what you give us your email. But then if you're a paid person, it'll have like a bonus thing. Plus it'll have a comic in there. And so I did that for like, I did that for like a month, and then I burned out. And I want to go back to that. But my point is, I think that is a way that you could do it, where you're creating all the content, quote unquote, for free. You're driving people to an email list because you're building out an email list. Email lists are the most powerful thing that creators aren't doing. Then you go
I 100% agree there.
You then every week send people their emails like, hey, this is the content, here's the new thing. And then you could do a paying portion where it's like, hey, this is like the extra digital content that you're gonna get. And then that's where like your hardcore fans are, and then your super fans then can get like the physical book. So like
tiers. So you're talking tiers.
For tiers. Yeah. So like for me,
there's a paid tier, and then there's a paid plus tier, right?
So like for Growth the Megafist, when I first started when I started chapter 1, I told people, and I was like, this is a stupid idea. And I'm like, look at me now. Even though I stopped doing it, but I'm coming back to it this month. I was like, join my Patreon. For $2 a month, you get to read a new chapter every 2 weeks. And you get to read that first. And then at $5 a month, you get the same thing. But then when the volume is completed, I'll give you a Patreon exclusive cover, which would be like this one right here. So I would say if you subscribe at $5 a month, I'm going to kickstart this, but you get the Patreon exclusive cover. And then I'll sell the extras for like super expensive on the Kickstarter. So that was the incentive. So people would back at $5 because they wanted that Patreon exclusive cover. And they felt, and then they also knew that like a year later, I was going to put out those books for free, those chapters for free digitally. And so like I think one, it's just like, it's communicating with people, like, what is your plan? Like, what do I want with this? And then you are at that point, you're going, these are the expectations. So it's like, hey, for $2 a month, you're getting this is what you're getting for free. This is what you're getting for $2. And this is what you're getting for $5. And it's just stacking to be better. But you're still treating everyone like they're equals. But I think the biggest thing is getting for like Anvil would be like, how do you generate those emails? How do you start generating?
Yeah, I was fortunate.
So would it be like sign up? So I'm sorry, Richard. But so because I'm quantifying this in my head. So would it be like Richard? He's like, hey, sign up for the Anvil email list, and when Anvil's ready, you'll get for free. You'll get one of the free stories from it. For X amount of dollars, you'll get I don't know, a discount. I don't know how all this works, but
I actually it's kind of interesting because I sort of have I implemented this haphazardly by chance. Okay, so ironage.media is the website that I run, and it's totally free. Everything on it is free, and I don't pay anybody. There's no money exchange going on for any content that's on the website, right? Yeah. And there's articles as well as lots and lots of short fiction that comes in through these prompts that is done via basically image prompts. And I'm thinking to myself that I have missed the opportunity that I've missed here is creating a weekly email recap of ironage.media, right? Because then I could build that email list. As it is now, I have like a 1,000 or so email list out there, but it's all just backers of Anvil.
Yes, right? I'm gonna tell you. So like the position I took recently was a director of marketing position. Like all I've done is just fix things. So like on your homepage, I should have gone a pop-up that says, give me your email.
Yeah, I'm currently doing a rebuild of the website.
I don't want to hear excuses.
Yeah, I know.
but like
it's a bad excuse too, because I've been saying this for many months.
But like, and then like
you have actually.
Yeah, it just keeps
But you know what?
Inched backwards.
I subscribe to a guy, and the purpose of me subscribing was he goes, "Here's my books, but if you sign up for my weekly list, there's an exclusive story that you can only get on my email list, and it's a periodical. So like every week, I'm reading it, and I go, oh, like to be continued. I have to wait till next email.
Yeah, but you got to remember that I don't have any actual genuine creative talent myself. I'm just a parasite, right? So I'm the managing editor of this thing. So I have to figure out other ways to do that. But I get your point.
But I mean, I think that you do know creatives who would be willing to help you out.
Really, what I'm thinking now is that,
and it would drive traffic to their sites, as well as
it would. So what I should do is have these articles, recap them in a weekly email, and then every week I need to just stay on top of all the prompt submissions and just read the prompt submissions from the previous week and run through those. So if you go up to prompts, I highlight stories, and for example, I see RH Snow in the chat. Her talented son submitted a story back in November, and it was highlighted today. But the whole website needs to get easier to navigate and needs to have a search bar. It needs a lot of work, but
I like it.
It's very simple. Like it literally started as a single page application, right? So
yeah,
it has gone a long ways from there.
Yeah, so like I just think like when you're doing something like that, you have to go like, what is the ease of access for someone, and like how do you just even get them into what you're doing? And the first thing that people are going to want, because attention and data is better than money at this point.
It really is.
And so it's like, okay, how do I get someone's data? I need their email address. How do I get someone's email address? They need to come to my site or a pop-up or a landing page.
May I answer that question? How do you get someone's email address? Ask for it.
Yeah,
ask for it. And then they go, and then when they ask you why would I give you my email address? Now you have to answer. You have to answer the how and why. And then after that, you start building out. Like this year right now, I paid an artist to make a comic, and it's going to be a free comic. And I'm only, someone's like, Tyler, why would you pay like all this money to make a comic that you're going to give away for free? I'm like, lead generation. Give me your email, and you'll get a free comic. But you can only get the comic if you sign up for the email.
John Della Rose actually did that. When you go to his website, you get there, pop up, hey, 3 free books for your email.
Because John, and I've known John for years. John, John and I understand. This sounds so cocky, but John and I understand the book. John and I understand the book market and marketing it better than like I think most of the creators like on there that we see on Twitter. The only problem is that we don't actually implement most of the stuff, which is what. But like John, John knows all of like. Yeah.
Wait. Did you just say that you understand most the shit that the book market doesn't understand?
But we're not doing it.
You have no proof to prove it.
No. I can prove it. No, I can prove it. What I'm saying is we're not doing it. Like we're not we're not doing the tactics, which is why like I made that tweet today. Like, holy shit, why am I not? I know all the tactics. Why am I not doing it? And then you brought up John. Like I've had like hours talking with John, and we're going back and forth. Like, oh, we do this. This is how you do it. Just John likes that YouTube. John likes the YouTube game, you know.
He does, man. I love the.
He loves the YouTube game.
John, I love the.
But before John was doing the YouTube game, he was making a lot of money doing those other book tactics. Yeah. So sorry. So I hope that answered. I don't know if that answered your question.
Well,
Richard.
I would say I really appreciate the feedback, and I'm definitely going to like reach out to you and maybe talk to you about just if you don't mind, bounce a few ideas off of you.
Yeah.
But like as far as more generally for people, do you think all that holds true? I've always told people whenever people come and ask me, oh well, I don't have a website because I insist on all the prompt submissions. I say you have to host it yourself. Partially because I don't want to be responsible for it and formatting and yada, 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 but also because I want to try and help other people build their followings. And I always suggest Substack because it will at least let you download the email list, which you can complain about anything else with Substack, but you can at least download.
Most will let you do that.
Really? But I mean, like Twitter, I don't think like Twitter and Facebook and a lot of other
Twitter.
But thing is, like Substack, people are following your Substack because they give you your email address.
Yeah.
I can follow all of you guys. I'm not getting an email address from you guys. You know?
Yeah, but not on Substack. Right? So if you followed on Substack, you have to give an email.
Correct. But but if I follow you on Twitter, that's
there's
all.
No email.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no email. So what I'm saying is you can at least start an email list with that.
Oh,
From Substack.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from. But for other people, do you think that basically what I'm saying, is it a bad idea to avoid going after the crowdfunding money? Should you try and go get that bag? Or do you think that there's better ways to do things?
There's always better ways to do things. Crowdfunding I think this is what's important to understand. Crowdfunding isn't the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is a method, but it's not the method.
It is a method, and I see a lot of creators like putting all their eggs into that basket. So I'll tell you guys my plan is I for the last 2 years I'm like, okay, I need to build a backlist because I'm not going to break 5 figures on each campaign without a backlist. So check. I spent the last 2 years doing it. Done. This year I'm doing 8 or 9 Kickstarter campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one thing I'm doing. But my goal isn't necessarily like focusing on the Kickstarter campaigns. I'm doing them. My goal is how do I get someone to buy something from my online store and then Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest goal right now. And so my goal is to put out like growth the Mega Fist. I'm going to crowdfund it. You're going to get it at the best price. You're going to get the best price on crowdfunding because I love you. You're going to get a really good quality book. And then for everyone who missed it, you can get what I call this. If it's from me, it says the Prestige Edition at the back. And if you buy it on Amazon, at the back, it says the Standard Edition. Because the paper is a little less quality. It's from Amazon. I'm not the one who's shipping it. So it's them handling it. But you're going to pay a little extra as well for that. And so it's called an aftermarket strategy. It's an aftermarket strategy.
Okay.
See, Daniel's right. Yeah. So I think
that's kind of what I'm doing with my campaign, the ColourPop issue. The campaign is just for the ColourPop version, and then everything that's created after the campaign is over at the end of this month is standard black and white. You don't get I did a little bit of the rare collectible thing, but the idea was that specifically for contributors, I wanted them to have something special. And something special that nobody's going to get when it's over.
But then after that, you have an aftermarket strategy where you're like, now this is what you're going to get afterwards. And I think that's what a lot of creators don't have is that aftermarket strategy.
And one of the things that actually Daniel is doing with his thing, and I freaking love this. If he hits his stretch goal, which as of today he was like $65 away from his stretch goal, right?
$65 away.
But he hits that stretch goal, it is a discount code for the next book.
Oh, hell yeah.
For everybody who backed. It's a discount, and I've never heard of that. I've never
talked about it here, and I wanted to test it. So that's why I did it.
Yeah, but it's like it's hey, buy this book. If we hit X amount of dollars, everybody who backed the book, guess what? You get a discount code on the next book. Just because you bought it. And just because enough people bought it, I'm going to make it fucking cheaper for everybody on the next book. And I personally think that that's really cool. Now, Daniel, the recluse that he is, needs to fucking talk with you, Tyler. But that being said, I've seen the work that he's done, and I think it's fucking fantastic. And I think the things that he's doing are fantastic.
It's a really good idea. I like it.
Richard, I know you got to bounce, good sir.
Yeah, I'm fading, and I got to get up early.
Past his bedtime.
I know, it's a half hour. He usually goes to bed. And admittedly, Richard wakes up early on Saturday and has things to do. I don't know. I also have things to do, but I'm
a lot of energy banging on that anvil.
Yeah.
So, Richard, good
I
sir.
I broke a bookcase, actually.
What the fuck?
was
Please tell me you didn't do the stamping And
Well,
did you really
I
break a
had
book?
been stamping aluminum, right? And I got some dog tags because I'm going to be at the Pew Peeps Expo in April. And I thought, what are some goofy things that are just easy to have people come by and we'll draw some
the steel
interest.
stamp that you have, and you
And I
hammered
tested it out on a steel dog tag, and I'd been
on a bookshelf.
Well, yes, and I it was not on a shelf. It was a short bookshelf that only comes about to like 3 feet tall.
How did your
And
wife
I
feel
thought it had
about this?
And it had the cross piece on top, and I just wasn't really thinking because I've only been having to like barely tap this thing, or else I just obliterate the aluminum and screw up the stamp by embedding it into it. And this steel didn't even like do anything to it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's steel. I take it and I give it one good whack, and it just goes and just tears out the pins that are above and just collapses the entire top of the bookcase down on top of the books underneath it. And I was like, well, this was real smart, Richard, you freaking moron.
And how did your wife feel about this?
It was fine. It was kind of an old one that was
okay. So she probably
needed
wanted
to be
to
put out to pasture.
Actually,
anyway.
admittedly, if she's letting you hammer on it, she probably wanted it gone anyway.
Yeah, it was just it was an older one, and it was particle board. It wasn't like it was nice or anything. It just
for posterity, man.
Yeah.
Oh god. That would have been a great
content
short.
right there.
That would have been a great short.
Right? Yeah, I know. I am going to have a stamping, a striking the anvil stream whenever I get ready to do the Forge Master tier stamping.
So Tyler, if you're a little lost here, he bought
because like I'm like listening. I'm listening to it. I'm like, is breaking a bookshelf like a gay innuendo?
No,
I can't believe you think that
metal
about me.
stamp.
Royce, I would understand.
For you motherfucker, he bought a metal stamp, and for his Forge Master anvil that he's selling, he takes the metal stamp and hammers it, and you get a stamped copy, like limited edition stamped copy of the books.
Damn.
Yeah. So he's deciding that he's going to take this stamp and stamp a whole bunch of shit that it's not designed for and break bookcases now.
Yeah, well, I'm shutting
We've
that shit
gone
down.
from him eviscerating
And-
a test copy. Like, I want to see the I fucked it up copy. I want that
I will
copy
send that
so
one
bad.
to you, Royce.
Will you seriously?
Yeah, I
want
will.
that. The one that
There's
you
one
test.
that has
I want.
holes.
Oh my god,
There's
I want that one.
The very first one that I tried to do with this blacksmith stamp, I gave it a whack and it just punched completely through the front cover of the.
There's your limited. There's your limited edition
I
of
want it.
copy.
I want
That's
it.
a
I want it.
mistake. Well, it now has like a dozen other stamps on it because I was like, I'm just going to keep ruining this one. It's the first issue, but okay, I'll send it to you with the other one.
How much?
But anyway, it's trash, so it'll just go in.
No, it's not trash.
You can pay me an extra
it's gonna
$1
get
for the
bagged
shipping.
and boarded as soon as it gets to my house.
Oh, good.
Because
anyway,
it's a.
For everybody in the chat, here is a shill. If you want a Forge Master edition for all of 2024, the only way you're going to get that is if you order before, I think, January 22nd, because I am like, this seems like a pain, and I've decided that I don't want to run the risk of having too much, like too many screw ups and too many blems, and having to reorder in the back. Like if you order later and I screw up a bunch, I want to have exactly that many. So for my own sanity in terms of inventory control, if you want a Forge Master, now is the time. And I will probably do something like this in 2025, but I'm never going to be going back and stamping old magazines. So get it, get it if you want it. AnvilMagazine.com subscriptions. Check it out. Forge Master tier comes with a nice big poster. The Ironsmith is digital and physical for the entire year, plus a special morale poster in an 11 by 17 size. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. Also, First Strike, which is a music showcase. This with everything from synth to metal, kind of rock. We have AC Pritchard, JVP, Evely Music, Jake Calta, and Chill Kid on that album. It'll be shipping with issue number 3, and that should be in just about mid-February. So
that's awesome, man.
Tyler, thank you so much for all your wisdom and talking to me.
Dude,
I
heck yeah.
will
Hit me up.
pester you for some input whenever I get the website
Dude, pester me.
revitalized.
Pester me.
So, all right. Thank you. And everybody else, have yourselves a good night.
Have a good night,
Good night,
man.
Richard.
Have a good night, man.
Dude, fuck that guy, right? Yeah.
Why did you take my line? This is my show, good sir.
Now you can rant away, Royce.
I can rant now, but I have a lot of questions. Actually, the thing is, usually around about the 2 hour mark, we start super chats and whatnot, because I realize that not every guest that we have is willing to stay on until after midnight. Usually at the 2 hour mark, we get to questions that we've caught throughout the night, as well as super chats and all that. You good?
Dude, I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time, so I'm here, man.
Dude,
I'm here.
This has been a fucking blast.
Yeah.
This has been a fucking blast. So Wrangler, this is very early on in the night, and I did not catch this one earlier, but Wrangler comes in, drops a super chat of 420. 420, that's it. Wrangler comes in, drops 420 and bounces. I don't. Oh no, actually, do you know? I'm assuming you know who Mike Miller is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who started the 420 joke on this channel.
Oh, there you go. Mike S. Miller?
Yes, Mike S. Miller. Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Mark.
Yeah,
of Meg comic fan popularity?
No, I love Mike to death. He is he's a really good dude, man. He's a good friend of the channel. I love him to death, and he's helped me out a lot in a lot of background conversations and stuff like that. Super good dude, man. I love him to death. Resonant One says, a drink with crazy. We're having to cut back on the cons this year because the profitability has gone down dramatically thanks to the economy and cultural sabotage of the big IPs that support them. That's another thing. Like, a lot of people used to go to the con circuit, but because the Marvels and the DCs are not doing as well anymore, less people are going to the cons, which affects the smaller guys. How do they get around that?
Dude, I don't know. I hate Comic-Con. I hate going to cons. But I went to Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys know. Gosh, dang it. I'm not even going to try to remember.
Nope.
But I got one of an awesome creator invited me. He was like, hey, like, I'm at you on a Comic-Con in your city? I'm like, no. He goes, oh, well, I'm tabling there. You should come visit me. I'll give you a pass. And like 5 years ago when I went, it was just all Marvel DC. And when I went in there, it was just anime. And I was like, and it's like, I brought my kid, and my kid was dressed as like Robin. There was like no superhero anything. And like, people are looking at us like, are you a bad dad because your kid's dressed like a superhero? And I'm like, I'm sorry, anime chick with big boobs. Like, I didn't know.
Small story, but a story nonetheless. Wife ended up. So the closest Walmart to us is 35 minutes away, right? We live. I put my family in the middle of nowhere because I'm into the politics and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, shit's gonna get real bad. So let's put my family in a place where it's gonna get bad last. But my wife, took the kids to Walmart, and the reason I say that is because that's a once in a while thing, right? So all of the kids got to go with mom this time. To Walmart, and she's like, oh, you know what, guys, you've been really good today, you've helped me out a lot, I'll get you all one thing. And my son, and I specifically remember what my son got because it kind of shocked me. The one thing that my son wanted to get was, and don't get me wrong, I don't disapprove, he got volume 1 of My Hero Academia.
Oh, heck yeah.
He didn't get Spider-Man, didn't get Superman, didn't get Batman, didn't get Green Lantern, Wolverine.
Here's the question, though. Were those books even available there?
See, and I don't know, but he doesn't talk about any of those guys. He talks about that. My kids, they talk about Demon Slayer. They talk about FNAF.
Yeah.
They talk about My Hero Academia. They hardly.
Dude, I bet you none of those. Like, I go to my Target and my Walmart every single week, and I go in the book section. Mm-hmm. There is never a DC or Marvel book.
Nope.
I would maybe not.
So like it's so when people are like, how come kids aren't into it? It's like, how can they? It's not there.
Yeah. Yep. It's not. Yeah. It's no. And like Luke Stone from Fund My Comic. I don't know if you're.
I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
I beef with everyone actually.
Right.
I don't like
Dude,
anyone.
Oh my god, dude, it seems like that on the internet. But no.
No.
But Luke
I saw the
had-
look you gave me and I was like, don't worry.
No. I'm
It's all
fine with
good.
it. But Luke had this idea of like getting spinner racks, but in gas stations and in because everybody's like, they won't work. They tried it. Walmart doesn't work. It's like, yeah, but what about your local gas station? You know, your local Five and Dime down at the fucking corner. Like, and you put it right there, and a kid's sitting there, and it's $5. And the kid's like, instead of the kid going, Mommy, Daddy, I want a candy bar and I want a comic. And they go, well, what do you want more? Do you want the candy bar or do you want the comic? Maybe
my rebuttal to that, though, is because I actually hate when people say that the spinner rack gas station is for the last like 5 years that I've lived in this state that I'm in, I've never gone inside the gas station.
That's
I go in the gas station all the time. But wait. Do you live close to are you in a city or are you in?
I'm in a city. Like town.
I'm not.
City.
I'm in a small town.
Oh, so like that's like your hub, like to go get like random shit.
Like you go, that's the hub. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I live in a small town, and by small town, just to quantify it for you, 2,500 people.
Yeah, that's small. Yeah, I live. Yeah, mine's.
So, but what I'm saying is you target the small towns instead of the big cities that could be possibly a strategy because again in small towns they're more of the hubs
but then
your market is
the cost to put it in there and then the profit.
Well, hold on. And here's where I argue with you. A lot of small towns, these businesses that you can put these spinner rack in, individually owned, right?
True.
You give the owner a small cut. Here's the thing. My wife, we have a garden every year. She makes spices every year. I know because this motherfucker over here buys them from me and takes them from me. But my wife makes homemade herbs and spices every single summer. And my wife grew 43 different types of peppers in the world this last summer, along with tomatoes and onions and a whole bunch of shit. Oh, and by the way, 5 out of the top 10 hottest peppers were in my garden this year because I eat hot shit. Right? And she goes to one of the local hardware stores, and the guy's like, yeah, here, I'll clear you some shelf space. And she goes, and he's like, yeah, if you sell it for $7, we'll take $2 of it, right? Because small towns work like that. That still works in America, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that there's that market. Now, there's 2,500 people in this small town. Now, maybe only 250 of those people go to that fucking comic book store. How many of those people got kids? Right.
True. It's definitely
and then
it's
you
a long
multiply
play.
that by, but you
All the
get
small
guys
towns.
like me, right, who live in the small towns to say, hey, let me go try this. I'll help you out, right? It's not like you have to do it all yourself. You network with people and you say, hey, let me talk to my local hardware guy. Maybe he wouldn't mind having a spinner rack of some indie comics in his shop. And then fuck it, if it doesn't work after a month or two, everybody just agrees no harm, no foul. But I look at it this way. I reached out to you a day or two ago to schedule an interview thinking, well, fuck, Tyler's probably not going to come on the show. But I also was like, but if he says no, where the fuck are we at? Right now we're at no Tyler. If he says no, we're still at no Tyler.
Exactly.
We are exactly but what I'm saying is it's at least worth a shot, especially because a lot of people right now are really getting like, ooh, why is physical media going away? And that's something to capitalize on.
I think from a, like me personally, I'm more of a cast my net. Like I just think about the amount of like work to like have to contact all those small businesses. I'm more of a, can I just put this out digitally? Because all the kids are on their phones. That's my take.
That's why I say you don't do it. You say, hey guys, we'd like to put spinner racks in small towns all across the country. If you live in a small town all across the country and you would like to help us out, get in touch with me and then let other people who are passionate about it, like me. I've got 5 businesses in my head right now that
who you'd put it. So then, but then you have to go, okay. So like, then you have your cog.
Hey, we'd like kids to have good stories again because all of these,
but now you have the spinner rack costs.
Bundle of sticks.
Spinner rack costs, shipping, printing costs, shipping, returnability costs if it doesn't sell.
And And Luke Stone actually talked about a lot of that when he was on the show. Yeah. Like, how the fuck are you going to make this work? And he did talk about a lot of that. It's not like he's going into this without a plan.
Oh, he actually is doing this.
He's actually
he's been
looking into
on
like
what's called Iron
he's
Age
got the whole thing
distribution.
laid out. Like this isn't just a wild ass random ass hair that got stuck up his ass. He's like, no, he's like, I want to get comics.
I think that's beautiful. So I will say, like, there is the difference between like maybe like the creator that I am and the creator of like other creators that I'm seeing is you have the grander goal creator. So like I look at it myself going like me selling, let's just say I sold 100,000 copies of my book. To me, I'm not changing shit. Like it's not going to change culture. It's not going to change the landscape. It just, I sold 100,000 and that makes me happy. So I'm always someone who, and this sounds selfish, but I'm like, I'm just going to create the best thing I can, create a good environment, try to give a good message. But ultimately, like, I don't think that I can like create like that's huge change. Like that's such an undertaking to change like a cult, like a national cultural aspect.
It's going to take 25 to 30 years.
And to me, I'm like, I would rather, I see the trajectory. To me, I go, why do I see a dying horse instead of trying to fix it? I'm going to shoot it in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. I love physical media. I buy it, but I read 99% of my comics digitally.
Here's the thing. So for me personally, I've had people send me advanced books digitally. I won't read them.
Because you hate it.
I don't like reading. I fucking hate reading it on my phone or my tablet or my computer. It doesn't. I don't know because, and here's the reason. I'm connected to the shit all the fucking time.
Yeah,
right?
You want to get off.
There's notifications in this, and when I can take my phone and set it the fuck down and just put it on mute and just and dude, and I hated reading when I was a kid. I fucking hated it. I hated reading. Reading was that chore that I had to do, or else I got my ass fucking whooped. Like my dad was one of them old school dudes, right? Like shout out to dad because he put the fear of God in me when I needed.
He was a Fox News dad.
He was not. No, he was not. He was not a Fox News dad. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But yeah, no. My dad hates most all of them. But anyway, reading was that thing for me when I was a kid. Like I had to do or I got grounded. I had to do it or I got in trouble, right? And it made me dude, I wouldn't even read comics when I was a kid. I watched the cartoons. I had friends who read the comics and I talked with them about the stories that were going on, right? As I got older and YouTube became a thing, people would cover entire comic book lines because I've loved it since I was a kid. But dude, I didn't get over my hatred for reading. And that's not to say that I didn't read a few books because I had to, or if they made me pick, I picked a book, right? And actually, that's my favorite book back here. That's Dante's Inferno.
Oh, damn.
By the way, that copy, that's an 1880 edition. That is 143 years old.
Wow. That's why it's in the box.
That's why it's in the box. And I actually have oxygen absorbers in there taking the moisture out of it. But yeah, no, but that's not to say I didn't, but I fucking hated it. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, wait a minute. My kids don't have a dad that reads.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
You start realizing like, oh, my kid can't read. He's not reading. I'm not reading. I better start.
Yeah. How am I going to tell my kid to read?
Yeah.
Dude, one of the proudest moments that I had is I picked up because
I was gonna interrupt with a joke. You were like, I was gonna go Dr. Seuss's ABCs. My proudest moment was picking up Dr. Seuss's ABCs.
Anyway, but I picked up it's fucking great. No, but I picked up there was an indie book that I was reading this last year. I believe it was Black Knight's Star Shatter. And which is right here. And I was reading it, and my son saw me reading it, and he went and he picked up a book and he sat down next to me onto the couch.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he opened up a book and he started reading because he saw me do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, and that was one of those moments when I was like, wow. Like, I just said, hey, guys, keep it down. Daddy's going to read for a few. I need you guys to shut the fuck up. I have 4 kids, dude. Like, and they range from 6 to 11. Like, and then we got dogs and cats, and we have a German Shepherd that loves to chase the cats, and shit's always breaking in my house. So So when I So when I could tell people just shut the fuck up for a minute, Dad, but my son came down, he sat next to me, he's reading, and I was like, damn, dude, like I never, because my dad didn't read a lot. My dad might have read a couple of things here and there. I was like, my mom would read. Mom would read, not very often, but they'd always sit down. And here's the problem, right? Sit down and they watch like NCIS in the other room, and I'm supposed to read. The TV's blaring in the other room. They're watching the nightly fucking, you know, what was it? What they all started? It was 7 to 9 was the fucking watch television block every single night of the week, right? So they're watching all that shit, and I'm listening to it, and I'm supposed to be reading, and they're watching fucking TV. You know, and all I wanted to do, especially when it was getting light outside, I just want to go outside. I want to swing a stick and pretend to fight something in the front fucking yard. That's all I want to do. I wanted to be outside. And so, but as an adult, dude, I was like, wait a minute. My kids don't have a dad who's reading. And here's the thing is like, I was like, all right, God, I need a reason to read. I need a reason to read. And God's like, you're going to interview authors. What?
Yeah, so
what?
I like
Wait.
so I understand like what I like, and so like here's something people need to realize, like whenever I talk, like I try there's like the altruistic like of like yeah, like you should read physical media, it gets like there's all the good benefits. But when I'm in like situations like this, or like I'm on Twitter, I'm that emotionless business guy. Like and so people go, oh, Tyler's heartless. It's like, no, like don't get me wrong. I believe all the things.
Good.
I believe all the things that, because I agree. Like I've got all my books here. I've got a bookshelf right here. I got bookshelves upstairs. Yeah. But like when it comes when I'm business Tyler, I'm like digital. Like how do you solve the problem? It's digital. And even though I agree with you, like morally and like everything, like digital is like the worst thing. That's like it's destroying people.
I don't think that it is. However, here's what I will say. There is an oversaturation of digital out there, and people have no idea where to look, right?
Oh, yeah.
And here's what we saw. Do you remember when vinyl came back in? And do you know the vinyl scene for music is fucking...
It's huge.
It's huge right now.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I want to... My wife and I we're fixing our bedroom, and she's like, we're gonna put a vinyl record player here. And I'm like, yeah. Well, I don't listen to anything that has a vinyl.
So think about it.
I have one in my living room.
So think about it. With digital being so oversaturated, spinner racks and gas stations, go the vinyl route.
But it has to be cool.
But again, I've seen some cool covers of comics.
That's
and
fair.
It's just I've seen some cool covers.
But are kids buying vinyls, or is it like our age?
But here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying though, right? You give the gas station owner, the hardware store owner, a pamphlet, and that guy gets to choose. I want these 5. I'm not talking big holy fuck spin rack. Small ones, sit on a desk, holds 4 books, maybe 5. Small. It's not a big investment for the guy, and he can put them on the desk right there at the cash register. And a kid comes up and he goes, "Dad, that looks really cool. Can I get that?" Small, we're not talking the full. Again, let's adjust. Let's figure it out. But here's where I'm at. All of us got introduced to this shit when we were fucking kids. And now all of us are selling to 40-year-old men. What the fuck? How does that...
Hey, speak for yourself. I got introduced to it when I was trying to download porn. That's my first... That's my...
How old?
19.
You were a kid. You were a fucking child at 19. I don't give a fuck what the law says.
some child molester, like, how old are you? Like 19. Counts.
It counts.
It counts. I was watching the show and he said it counts.
Oh shit.
No, but like, yeah, once again, like I think it's so great for someone to do that. I think it's just a horrible idea. But I if anyone
Here's
who does,
the thing.
if someone does it and if they're successful on it, I think that's fantastic.
But that's the thing is you've got to test it out. And it's like, are we talking full spin racks or are we talking 5 books? So it's low cost to the person. And then they go, oh shit, hey.
It has to be gas stations, right? Because like, didn't they try it with Walmart with Allegiance Arts, and then DC
exactly.
did their
But that's what
Walmart
I'm saying.
thing?
It's like, fuck all that shit. Fuck the Walmarts and the Targets. It's got to be, it's got to be the impulse buy, right? And who are the most fucking impulsive people out there?
Asians. Oh, children.
Asian children. No, Asian children aren't impulsive because their parents still beat them. Anyway.
Hey, listen, I'm Asian. My kids are upstairs crying right now. Like, oh, I should have gone to bed. No, don't do that, guys. Whoa.
So he has a point in that, just from my experience, I do a lot of my sales locally, and doing that, yes, it's more time intensive with local community events. Anytime there's a local community event where I can set up a table, I will. And then I just sell to the community. In town, a couple of years back, I decided that I was going to market the asshole way, because I went into a mom and pop bookstore and tried to peddle my novels there, and was summarily told, "Get the hell out!" You know,
fuck off, man.
Yeah. So I
But
was
if you
like,
handed them a pamphlet and was like, "Hey, I know this guy. You know, he's selling books. Check it out." And then you don't tell them that you're the guy.
I went the other route, the true asshole route. And the next time we had what's called Lansdale Day, which is just a town celebration thing, I specifically requested and paid for a table right outside of their bookstore.
Yes.
And spent the entire day telling everybody that came up to it that the store wouldn't let me sell my books there, so I'm selling them
That's
here.
freaking hilarious. That's baller. That's gangster.
That is. Please tell me you did well that day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I paid. I covered my cost for the table.
Hey, these
and
guys are
like
dicks.
twice.
Don't be a dick. You got the don't be a dick fucking sales.
Oh, that's freaking awesome, man.
I doubled the cost for the table itself. We'll put it that way, which is not a lot, but it's revenue, and it works.
That's great, dude. Ron Neonzi for $5. Oh God. He says the big mangakas bought their fame at a terrible price. They reached Tyler's inflection point and kept going. They suffer, as do their families.
Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong, dude. Those mangakas are like, that's one of the things, like, because I'm thinking about like Western comic book guys compared to mangakas. Western comic book guys are lazy as shit.
Dude, they're fucking lazy.
Dude, they'd be like, we get a book out in like 2 months.
Well, no, actually, no.
Mangakas would be like, hey, we get a book out next week.
It goes back to the altruistic thing. Like, I spent 10 hours on one page, but did you like look how detailed it is? It's like, listen, the person, like, I get it. Like, the art looks great, but you're trying to tell a story, and you're just the point of comics is to convey a message. Like this. So they're like, I spent 10 hours per page. Look at all the detail. It's like, great. I looked at that panel for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on. And they're like, well, no, my book, I do one book a year. It's like, great. I don't remember what the last issue was happened because it's been a year. So I agree.
Yeah, no, it's like there is only so much detail that people are going to give a shit about. It's why, like, I get
I mean, well, there's two choices.
So all right, hold on. So just fuck me sideways for even bringing this up, and I apologize for this, but the whole Eric July bullshit and everybody nitpicking every single but everybody nitpicking every single page of that book. Like, did you see this? Did you see that? I've had people come in and they're like, "Did you read the book?" I'm like, "Yeah."
What's your favorite
and they're like,
part?
"What did you think about it?" I'm like, "It was all right."
What's your favorite part,
dude? And I'm like, right? And I'm like,
What's your favorite
I'm like, yeah, it was all right.
part?
Had some issues. Like, did you? The artwork was terrible. I'm like, I don't know. I thought the art was all right. Like, no, we'll tell you. Somebody was like, dude, get the book right now. I will tell you the panels. And I was like, dude, fuck off. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not paying attention to it that much.
Well, the problem with
like,
this...
I literally as long as it takes me to read the words, that's how long I'm looking at. And guess what? I'm also looking at words. So I'm half paying attention to what the fuck the picture is. I'm half paying attention to what the fuck the words are. And I'm just going through it like, hey, that looks kind of cool. Oh shit, that was funny. And I'm fucking done. Like, it's a fucking story that I can set my phone. It literally accomplishes any comic book. Any fucking comic book accomplishes exactly this. It gives me 30 fucking minutes to set my fucking phone down and not pay attention to Twitter bullshit. If it accomplishes that goal, fuck, it must be a good book. If I put the book down and go, I can't read this, it's not a good book. If I make it through to the end, fuck, it must have been good enough to make it through to the end. Like, that's just where I'm at.
My problem with like the discourse around all of that is just you're having a lot of people come out with comic book, like how to make comic book opinions, but they don't understand the process. Like, oh, I can't believe he used a 3D asset. I'm like, you look at 90% of the books that you're reading that you say are awesome.
Dude, have you seen those digital tablets? Obviously, guess what? Most of them are in 3D. Yeah, you get it, right? You get the digital tablet, you make a line, you can literally rotate the fucking thing you're drawing. It's not...
Dude, my volume 2 of my book, I did a 90-page fight scene, and I was like, I do not want to draw the background of this fight scene for 90 pages. So I paid someone to create it's a fantasy world. So I was like, hey, I need you to 3D create the town. So they created the town, and then I draw the characters and I plop the town in, I change the angle, and then I hit line art, and then I go, done. Yep. Because I have to get these books out on time. It's a 200-page book. I'm not gonna spend 10 hours.
Dude, just the high and mighty, dude.
High and mighty, yes,
dude. You can smell the high and mighty on people.
Go to church,
like, right? I'm like, fuck off with that shit. Like, I'm not. And I somebody told me it got passed around, but I told somebody, I was like, if you want to come up with something that is like my favorite, like that, I mean, reaches the peak of art. And again, I pulled out again. I pull this book out once in a while to make a point, and I held the book up and I was like, come up with something that beats Dante's Inferno. And I was like, you really want to go for it? You want to say your book is something fucking special? I'm going to tell you right now, if it don't beat this book, it ain't nothing special to me. It's another fucking book.
People don't realize like that's one of the problems with comics, and that's honestly why manga is winning. Is manga understands that it's disposable media. It's there to entertain and then fuck off.
Dude, these motherfuckers think they're like Picasso or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I've said, it's art. It's art. It's not a product. It's art. What?
It's not just in comic books. You see it in the indie book sphere too.
I've had enough beer at this point, and I've held back my rant. You're starting to get ranting, Royce.
Yay! We like ranting, Royce.
No, fuck off. They goat me into it. But no, it's just, Andrew Roland for $5 says, I took a journalism 101 in college, and I got an A by doing absolutely nothing but show up. LOL.
Accurate.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough. Andrew Roland for another $5 says, being a single indie comic creator is like living the life of Batman. I don't have time for romance. I'm married to the mission. Right?
Dude, I had a girl. I dated a girl, and I remember like we dated for 2 years, and it just didn't work out. And I remember like we're breaking up. So you're breaking up. You're monologuing, and in her monologue, wait. In her monologue. Yeah. She was she's like, I'm breaking up with you, blah, blah. I don't see a future with you, blah, blah. And then she closes the door, and I go, well, I guess we're broken up. And she opens the door and she goes, and I hated all your comics. And I went, oh! Then she like slammed the door. And I was like, it was already bad enough you're breaking up with me, but that now it's personal.
The fact that you don't like me as a person is one thing. The fact that you didn't like my comics, whoa, bitch.
Yeah, like step back. But yeah, it's tough. You gotta My wife is super cool. She put the kids down by herself, and she's like, Tyler, go down and hang out with the boys downstairs. So you need the right person.
No, you do, dude. Yeah, I absolutely understand that. Like, I absolutely understand that.
I don't, because I don't have one yet.
See, you're manifesting.
I think you'll get with her.
One day.
He's gotta take time from like fixing everybody's books and stuff. So as, like
What time?
yeah, I know what time.
Working on everybody else's books, working on my own books, creating comic books. Yeah.
He's a novel editor. He's also a writing coach, so people who need help with their writing to get it along. And now he's also not only writing his own books, so he's a writer, and now he's also creating a comic based off of his own book.
Yep.
Chisadai. So like,
oh, sick.
Yeah, the guy like he's no time at all. All right,
no time for love, Dr. Jones.
This is not a super chat, right? And because I tell everybody, hey, if you got something good in the chat, I don't care if it's a super chat or not, I'm gonna grab it. Bat Sauce says, what are your recommendations for paid advertising?
Yeah, like you just have to figure out like know where they are. So if you have a younger audience, probably go to TikTok. If you have like an older audience, probably Facebook. If you just want to like throw money at Twitter.
Don't throw money. I don't like Facebook, dude, because again, Facebook has that thing. Are you sure you want to go here? Like
yeah,
Facebook,
it's still super like it sucks, but it's still like a very good.
Is YouTube a thing?
You need good money.
Oh, you need good money. Oh, you need that good on YouTube.
Yeah, you need that good money. You need that good money for you because think about it. It's not just like a still image. You have to produce like an actual good quality video, to do it. But I would say like TikTok, TikTok, Pinterest. Those are the two ones that are going to get big this year. Is TikTok and Pinterest.
TikTok and Pinterest. Okay, Bat Sauce, TikTok. Oh, and by the way, Bat Sauce is the guy who actually did that fun intro in the very beginning of the show, where it was just it was he made Daniel P. Riley Conan.
That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, no, it was And then I was a bard. It was, but guys, no, seriously, let Bat Sauce know because I want to know what you guys think of that intro. I might play it at the very end of the show so you guys can see it again because I overlapped it with also a previous one that I had done. But I really want to know because Bat Sauce took the time to do it. I think he's willing to make this like perfect. Put up the poll. Okay. All right. So guys. All right. He says put up the poll. I did tell him I was going to put up the poll. Okay. So this intro for Iron Age Knights, Tyler, we're going to hit the button. We're going to play an intro for Iron Age Knights, and we're going to see, but I need to start the poll first. All right. Yes or no for this intro. Hey, that rhymed. I didn't mean for that, but all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it, and 3, 2, 1.
Look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's running IronAge.media, creating Anvil, the anthology.
Iron Age.
Iron Age. Who
the so-called Iron Age. Yeah.
My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. We have a show this evening, or we don't, and it all stops here. And so cometh the Iron Age of media. All right. So
I've never looked so good.
Hey, you look
caught
good
me.
with that
You caught me
Schwarzenegger.
back in my 20s.
All right. Fuck. So guys, let's Let Bat Sauce know. I think there could be more to that one, but I also don't know. But I think that Bat Sauce is off to a damn good start. And that is, I am super humbled that he took the time to be like, hey guys, I want to make an intro for your show because I like it. And I'm like, I'm just blown away. I'm like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. Like, I love it. I want more memery from it. Like a minute and a half is not enough memery for this, but that's super freaking cool that he did that.
You can add 30 seconds, Bad Sauce, because we have a 2-minute bumper song.
Right.
You got 30 more seconds to play with.
Right. Mario Trujillo for $5 says, damn, it's been a good 10 years since I thought of MySpace. This chat is old. Okay, first of all, fuck off, Mario Trujillo. Second of all, he says, okay, now I need a beer and a shot. Also, F starving artist. And get the goat. I'm not buying my wife a fucking goat, you bastards. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying my wife a goat. That's channel lore, Tyler. You don't
understand me, man.
You don't. I'm not.
My genius is beyond your comprehension.
I hate the starving artist mentality. They're just like, no, bro. Like I don't sell anything now, but like one day I'll totally sell like everything. And it's like, dude, fuck off.
All right, well, people just don't get my story.
Oh God, dude, I fucking.
Oh, so it's not good? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You have bad ideas?
No, dude, I sell it for a low price because I want people to. Like, no, dude, I just sell it for a low price because like more people will buy it if it's a low price. It's like, what are you doing to market it? Well, post it on Twitter. Fuck shit. All right.
I stand on the corner and hold it up really high with both hands.
Buy my book. I'm starving.
Dude, honestly, like a sign spinner. Like, just get a sign spinner to sell your shit. You probably make like them motherfuckers make decent money. Do you remember sign spinners like 5 years ago? They were on the corner of fucking everywhere before the government locked us all down and told us we couldn't go anywhere. Motherfuckers, sign spinners, like sitting there like spinning shit. Like, I don't even know what this motherfucker's pointing at, but like that shit.
Dude, they're airbending, man.
I know, fucking. And they're just like, where the fuck do I need to go? And it's like, oh, a sandwich shop. Well, fuck, I'll go to that sandwich shop. And you go to the sandwich shop, you're like, hey, the motherfucker out there spinning that sign. And they're like, yeah, no, that's Tony. I'm like, dude, Tony's a badass. Tony does things with the sign that I wish I could do with my life.
1,000 points in the road rage game.
Dude, I know, right? All right, Mario Trujillo for $5 says, also, marketing is going to be what makes or break you in the modern day. You'll have to learn to shill or starve. Don't be a starving artist. It's gay.
Shut up, Mario.
I agree. You have to learn how to shill, Daniel. You have to learn how to shill. He's gotten better. Daniel shills really well when he's about a half a bottle of whiskey in. When Daniel's a half a bottle of whiskey in, he's just like, all right, let me tell you about something. I got this book that I wrote.
I'll tell you anything you want.
It's a really good book that I wrote, and you guys should go check out this book that I wrote, because anyway.
It has the thing. Right here, the thing.
Actually, full transparency, so Daniel joined the show because he and hopefully it's okay to say this, but
of course
I'm honest with the audience. But he joined the show because he was like, it's hard for me to be in front of people. And he's like, I wanted to learn how to be better in front of people to market my stuff. That's why he joined the show.
Yep.
And like, I mean, shit, we're over a year and some change now on the show. So it's fucking great, dude. And he's gotten a lot better at shilling his stuff. Like, he used to clam up. Like, when it's now shill time, he's like, all right, yeah, I'll tell you about my stuff and tell you where to find me. And
all right.
Liquid courage, man. Liquid courage.
There you go.
Dude, there's been some nights like well,
Some
okay,
nights it's just liquid abuse.
So like he still gets some of that like nervous thing on camera. And I didn't note it. I didn't know this. So we had Eric July on a while back. Super fun interview. That was really fun. I didn't realize Daniel was fucking hammered for like most of the show. I was like, Daniel, why were you so quiet? He was like,
Eric being on, so I was
you're quiet drunk. You're just like,
dude. I was like, well, even I was going through this. I was like, Daniel's a little bit more quiet than usual. And then like we did the super like Eric, he had to jump off for this. All right, so we got through the super chats and all that. We killed the show, and Dan was like, "Dude, I'm fucking drunk.
I am wasted.
Like,
Holy
dude,
shit!
as soon as the show was over, he like slapped us down, and he's like heavy breathing. He's like that drunk, like, like if he just breathes a little bit deeper, it won't be as bad.
That's
Dude,
funny.
the walls were melting that night. Holy shit! I was intimidated, so I was just knocking them back.
Oh man. Drake Tungsten for $5. We at Fandom Pulse love Super Plumber Sisters. Hi, Royce. Hi, other folks in chat. We love you guys. Shameless plug. Read Fandom Pulse. Hey, you know what? I'll put that one on screen so you guys can figure out how to spell that. There you go. Fandom Pulse. Go over, check it out.
I know that name.
I also know that name.
Thanks for the Super Plumber Sisters love.
Yeah. You got some Super Plumber ladies. Sisters, ladies. What?
They don't have sex
What?
with each other. So
Absolutely not female versions of other plumbers that we may or may not know of.
What you guys? What? There's a company in Japan that owns plumbing and red and green. That combo. What you guys talking about?
Never heard of this.
Yeah. What is it?
Kikomon for $2. So show me, show you, Kikomon. Ah, sweet. Thank you so much, Kikomon. Resonant 1. Gonna have to catch the rest of this later. Really good stuff. My question still remains: how to get the initial audience?
Yeah. Just once again, just like who is your audience? So like know who they are, what do they look like, and then where are they? Because you might
talking like blacks, Asians,
race,
like
it could be race, gender, all of it. What are
fingers on their left
I
hand?
love that you rolled with that so fucking
Yeah.
easily.
But
it's fucking true though.
Yeah, I only sell to black women.
But that could be a fucking thing.
Yeah,
Well, it's
100%.
Well, you remember all those articles that came out when Black Panther released in theaters? They're like, this is the highest grossing movie that African Americans have seen ever. It's like, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It's like, of course. Like, yes. And you know what? I like Black Panther. I'm not saying the movie don't have its problems, but because it does, but I'm a sucker for the story type that it tells.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the other thing too. Actually, I would say that's a piece of marketing advice. Find the suckers for that story. If you're writing a hero's journey, find the suckers for the hero's journey. Like, because there are hero's journey stories out there that they're not good, but people who are suckers for that story, they'll buy it.
It's like the isekai genre in anime and manga.
Dude, yeah.
Yep.
Why is there a million isekai genre? Because people love them, and it's a trope now that they're shitty.
Yep.
It's a trope now, but you're like, well, there's a new isekai. I'm gonna go check this out because I'm into that shit.
Yeah, like it's like the reluctant
hero.
Well, the reluctant hero is one of them. So it's like in Lord of the Rings, like Aragorn. Aragorn's my favorite character. The reluctant, he doesn't want to accept his destiny, but he will once he feels like he has earned it, or when he feels that the time is right to step in. Dude, I'm a sucker for shit like that. Like the Black Panther movie, paying for the sins of the father, right? It's like, you didn't do that shit, but now you have to correct what your family. Dude, I'm a sucker for shit like that. Like, I'm like, I've got to watch it. Like, even if it's like mediocre,
And here's the thing, you're marketing the story. I'll tell you one thing, and my friends Tim Lim, they always say this, but like, never ever. You might think it's a good idea, and it sounds like a good idea. It's not a good idea. Trust me, it's not a good idea. In your mind, you're gonna think it's a great idea. It's not a good idea. It's going. If you like X-Men and Batman, you're gonna love my story. And then when they say that, I go, well, I fucking hate X-Men, so I'm gonna fucking hate your story, I guess. And now you've lost me. And then it's like, market your story, like be confident enough in your story, in what you're telling, then without relying on other properties, because God forbid that person doesn't like those properties, you're like you've lost them. Just like even pitching your story or knowing what what is the most marketable aspect of your story, like that's a skill you have to really dive deep in. And you have to know those tropes. Like, is your story the chosen hero? Is it the reluctant hero? Like, because if it is, if you don't know that your story is that, how can you market it? If you
By
don't
the way,
like
there are traditionally 8 different types of heroes and stories. Because
know them, yeah, but people don't like creators are like they don't know this stuff, and it's like if you just knew that, you could market your story better. But you don't know how to market your story, so you're like, well, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings and X-Men, it's like, well.
My favorite thing when that happens is like when they pick something semi-obscure to put in that list, like not necessarily obscure, but like in the cult classic realm. Like they'll say, if you like Firefly, because the first thing that happens whenever anybody says if you like Firefly is I go, oh yeah, I should go watch Firefly. Like
you're marketing the other thing. You marketed the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I do like though is when people are like, if you're into old school genre, because then people are like, what do you mean?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
if you
different
like
than
epic
saying that
fantasy,
if
if
you're
you like
into
cyberpunk.
Robert E. Howard, right?
Mhm.
Because I see a lot of people doing like swords and sorcery and stuff like that, right? But there's a big, if people are like, if you're into old school swords and sorcery, if you're into old school sci-fi, if you're into old school, but if you're into old school genre, that's nebulous enough that it makes people think possibly about some of their favorites.
Yeah.
But also, when I read that, because I read a shit ton of pitches every week because it's my Comic Shop Wednesday show, that I go, well, wait a minute. Which old school are you talking about? And because it kind of answers that question. If you're into old school, new school, you know, a way that you can just say the genre instead of a creator or a creation.
Yes.
I feel like that's better because then that makes people question, wait a minute, I know creators in this genre, and now I want to know.
Yes. And you can picture it. If you're into old school fantasy, I immediately think of like ripped dudes who are like wearing nothing but like covering their junk, and they have a sword and they're fighting a dragon. But if you're the loincloth.
Yeah.
And so I immediately go, okay, I understand exactly what you're pitching. But if you're a fan of like D&D first edition, you're like, I don't know what D&D is. There's first edition, or I hate first edition. You've immediately lost them because you've given them an opportunity to give them a negative interaction with your work already.
Yeah, it's art. Do you like this genre? Do you like this old school genre? And everybody loves and hates something in that genre. But if you name the genre, people will immediately think of their favorite thing.
Right.
Yes.
Instead of, and they will, all right, I'm going to check this guy out, right? Don't equate yourself to other authors. Don't equate yourself to other titles. But genres are the ones that I go, because again, I read a lot of the fucking pitches every week. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. This sounds very interesting.
As well, market what the conflict is in your story. When you create a story, have a marketable conflict. And so like the conflict in The Girl with the Mega Fist was like, you have this girl and she's chosen by the gods and she has to become a hero and she doesn't want to be. It's like, okay, that's whatever. Typical hero who doesn't want to be the hero, whatever. Then you go, okay, well, what's the marketable twist? It's the fact that she has to choose between two. She has to pick a partner. She's given a partner, but for this time, the gods gave her 2 twin brothers she has to choose from. Is she gonna choose the one that she loves, or is she gonna choose the one that's more powerful to be the hero for her? And now you're marketing this conflict because now readers are like, oh, snaps! Like not only is she a hero, she has to choose if the one she loves or the strongest one. Well, obviously she's gonna choose the strongest one, but she also loves that one. So like, what's she gonna do? And now you're able to create discussion with your marketing, and then people go, I guess I want to know who she's gonna choose. I better buy this fucking book. And then you don't answer the question for several volumes.
I hate that I have to put this on the fucking screen, but I do.
Oh boy.
Fuck you, Evelyn. My music is DBZ, Pokemon, Power Rangers, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Big Titty Goth Girls.
There we go.
Big Titty Goth Girls are my weakness. Specifically one Big Titty Goth Girl because I married her. Yeah, been with her for 13 years.
You encapsulate Big Titty Goth Girls in music, though.
There's ways. It's generally... it's Generally, big titty goth girls like a lot of fucking heavy metal and trap music. So that's if you want to throw that fishing rod. Kid, come on for $5. You promised Pasta Senpai stairs. I promised you that I would do it on Sunday Coffee. Okay.
It is
Because
not Sunday, Kikoman.
It is not Sunday. I promised you that I would do it. I even said, remind me on Sunday Coffee. Which, by the way, Sunday Coffee is the live stream where if you guys have left a comment on any of my live streams or my videos throughout the week, I go and I don't just tell you that I read all of your comments. I read them live on the air. So, yes, that is my Sunday Coffee show.
Rant about them.
I get some good rants. I've actually had people like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down. I'm like, no, I'm good. And about like 2 minutes later, dude, 2 minutes later, I was a little late. Well, I'm a very passionate person. And it does again, I'm that way. I don't want to say this tonight, but my chat has called me. They're like, Royce, we don't know why you hate overly loud like Japanese anime voice acting. You're overly loud and can do the exact same shit. I'm like, fuck you guys. They're like, no, Royce, you're an anime character. I'm like, the fuck off. Because I tell people, I'm like, I will not watch subbed anime. I won't do it. I can't stand Japanese.
Really?
I cannot stand.
Subbed, because I thought you said dubbed, because I'm with you. I watch mostly dubbed.
Yeah. Now, again, they want to throw the political messaging stuff in there. I nope out, and I'm like, all right, fuck this. But, because I can catch that shit. But, dude, I fucking hate subbed. I don't like the Japanese anime voice acting. Here's the thing. I barely can tolerate the American anime voice acting, and the Japanese is that times 10. I can't fucking do it.
I'm gonna go back to my manga guys and go, guys. I was on a stream with a tourist. I
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Dude.
No, I'm with you.
I just don't like competition.
Dude, I have fucking tried. And people are like, but the translation's better. I'm like, but it sounds fucking annoying. Dude, it's like a cat getting screw fucked with like a welding machine while it's on full fuck. I don't even know. Like,
hey, someone clip this and be like, YouTuber goes off on Japanese people.
There you go.
No. Here's the thing.
Race
Like when I played like Ghost of Tsushima, which is like one of my favorite games of all fucking time, putting it on Kurosawa mode or a theater mode where it's the Japanese voice. That's fine because it's spoken Japanese. It is specifically the over the top anime voice acting. But like regular Japanese, I got no issues with it. It sounds fucking dude.
Don't clip that part, guys. Just clip the previous part where he was going off on it.
Where I said it sounds like a cat getting screw fucked with a welding machine.
Yeah, but make sure that Daniel and I are not in the clip. So you just really like crop,
Start a fight
or you can edit ours so that we're just like get us that, and then we're like, well, like we don't approve of that.
Mario Trujillo for $5 says, Royce be like, I'm checking off too many redneck boxes. I'd at least read some books, but really, God bless Royce and keep up being an awesome dad. Thank you so much, man. Sorry, that was hard to read while laughing. Andrew Rowland for $10 says, I'm making a video comic series with voice actors, sound effects, and music. The works. My comic is not published and will be everyone's first exposure to the story. Tyler knows what I'm talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
What the fuck, Andrew Rowland? Why don't I know what you're talking about? You fucking cheating fucking whore. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I appreciate you sending me the $10 super chat, you cheating whore. I wish all of you the best with your cheating whoreness and why Tyler knows shit and I don't know shit. I'm just fucking with you, dude. Congrats, man.
Sounds awesome. We have one of those.
Right. We have one of those.
ABT's
wait, we have you're saying we have a guy. Okay. All right. Kick him on for $2. And also, he says, do it. Ask your guest. And for $5, just play it. He really wants me to play this. All right, fine.
Yep.
How do I? All right.
I just pulled up the clip.
And I'm getting. Oh, it's this one here. What
There we go.
All right. Well, fuck. Got TikTok. What the fuck is going on with these screens right now?
It's Kikomon. It is.
I don't know. Kikomon is just like, dude, fucking. Like, here's the thing. If I don't play it, he'll get so frustrated. He'll drop like a hundo.
Oh, woe is me. Don't do it.
Don't give me $100.
I'm not that guy. I'm not. No, because I'm not that guy. I'm like that. I'll fucking play it just on Sunday Coffee when But specifically Wednesday night, he wanted me to play it. I'm like, dude, I need to be up at 4:00 tomorrow morning. So when it's time to go, it's time to fucking go. I'm sorry, I can't, and I always end up running over on Wednesday nights. And I'm like,
Always.
but when I have to wake up at 4:00 in the morning, it's like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm sorry, not really, because I need to go to bed. But I don't have to go to bed right now. So here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna share the screen, and learning alphabet with Ugandan pasta. What the fuck with Ugandan pasta?
It's kind of funny. I lived in Africa for 2 years, so like here I watched the first like 10 seconds of this video just now, and I was like, oh, you're bringing me back, man.
Here we go.
A is for
Americans want to bomb me.
B is for
bananas. Bogoya, bananas.
C is for
confusion of the highest order.
D
what the fuck?
is for
Deepa.
What
Doesn't
the
that
fuck?
make you gay?
Doesn't that make you gay?
is for
Excretory system. It's eating the poop all over the place.
What the fuck?
F is for
Fisting.
G is for
Orogonoria.
H is for
For everyone. No, it's a she.
I is for
Like ice cream. The intestine.
What the
J is for
Cucumbers.
K is for
Carrots, because it's a carrot.
L is for
Lesbian?
M is for move.
Morning, Mr. Should I call you Mr.?
N is for
The natural obligations.
Oh shit.
O is for
Other person's rectum.
P is for
Pasta.
Poo-pooing.
Q is for
Cucumber.
R is for
Rehabilitation center. Those whose rectums have been ruptured.
Can we use more sober people?
S is for
Sodomy defender.
T is for
Transgender.
What the
U
fuck is this
is for
Urinary tract areas.
V is for
Uh-huh.
Yes. Let me give him a chance to respond. Pepe.
Just translate what
Pepe,
stuff he's saying.
you are paid heavily.
W is for
Why are you gay? Why should someone be gay? Who is gay?
What do you use for sex?
Where's the H?
X is for
It is only for exit.
Y is for
You are gay.
E is for
ono omusajja Chris Mubiru alidde bisiyaga n'atwonoonera eggwanga ono mwana yandize n'atwetondera nti banange mutusonyiwe.
What the fuck, Kikomon?
That was hilarious.
That was fucking great.
That was awesome.
Oh my god.
I miss that accent sometimes.
Dude,
like, dude, Africans, dude, they come up. They say the funniest shit.
They do.
That's fucking great.
I have a Cameroonian friend I see practically every single day, and she is fucking hilarious.
They're so funny because they just say like, I remember when I was there, I bought like 2-ply toilet paper, and they're like, "What is this?" I go, "It's 2-ply." They go, "But why? For who?" I go, "For me." And they go, "But why you spend the money when you can get 1-ply?" And I'm like, "I don't know, it's softer." They go, Well, it's for who? And I'm like, they're like, you get the 1 ply and you fold it. Now it's 2 ply. You waste our money. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. My ass is bleeding on your 1 ply.
Yeah, man.
Like,
The questions are great.
As a construction worker, so I'm gonna be real with you. They get like that half ply shit in every porter john you've ever been in, and you basically just sit there and you just spin that shit until it's like baseball mitt thick, and it don't actually save you money. Because if you don't do that, bad things happen. We won't talk about those bad things because
nothing ruins your morning than a finger popping through. And you're like, ah.
And on
She
that
is
note, ladies and
wild
gentlemen,
though. Like she'll see me and go, "Hello," like all cheery, and then immediately start talking about the most fucked up shit that's happening in Africa. And it's like she's all happy when she's telling me about this thing, and then she'll stop and she'll be like, you know, they are taking the young people, 16, 17-year-old, they take them on vacation, and then they harvest their organs and throw their bodies in dumpster. And then she'll go, there is evil in the world.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what? Where did this come from?
They'll be like, they're like, how are you? Oh, I'm having a nice day. My family died. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the strangest fucking thing. Tyler, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at youtube.com/JohnTalk, even though I just nuked all my content. You can find me at Twitter at Tyler_C_world. And you can find my next comic on Kickstarter. I launch on Wednesday. Super Plumber Sisters #1 and 2 is going to be a silly goose time, like always.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. Daniel P. Riley, where can we find you?
Whimsyland.org, literary coaching and services, where I will do, as Royce previously mentioned, and drag that story out of your head and get you writing consistently and well.
Awesome, man.
And get me over the damn 3K threshold on G
Yeah, go to Fund My Comic for G Sedai. Seriously, you
Let's get that discount
motherfuckers,
code
spend
for
a little bit of
everyone.
money, give us all a discount. Seriously. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys on Sunday Coffee, where I read all of your comments. And until next time, cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.